City Center. As Lin Fei and the others expected, a very fierce battle was breaking out here. Thousands of monsters gathered here densely, working together to besiege Chen Zihan, Xu Jing, and Lu Zi. Fortunately, there were several energy light curtains around them, which blocked the monsters outside and gave them inside a chance to breathe. Within the light curtain, Xu Jing held two short guns and fired them at the same time. The two bullets worked together to smash the head of one monster, then aimed at the next monster and continued the same action. Lu Zi summoned dozens of skeleton warriors in one breath, half of them wearing heavy armor, and continuously killed monsters approaching the energy light curtain. Only Chen Zihan didn't take many shots and could kill monsters only after a period of time. She is an assassin and is really not good at frontal combat. Even though she has been promoted to level 10, her real combat power is not even comparable to that of Lu Zi, who has just been promoted to level 9. However, she plays the biggest role here, because it was she who used the demarcation talisman to turn it into an energy light curtain to keep the monsters out and ensure their safety. The bullets in the two pistols were exhausted. Xu Jing skillfully reloaded the ammunition. At the same time, she glared at Lu Zi, who was next to her. "It's all your fault. You left the low-level monsters alone and didn't kill them. You had to provoke the high-level monsters. As a result, so many monsters were attracted and surrounded us. If Zihan didn't have the dividing talisman in his hand, we would have been torn into pieces." Lu Zi's face was expressionless, as if he didn't hear. In fact, he smiled bitterly in his heart. Who would have thought that if you encounter a high-level monster, it will be level 14? Although in the end the three of them worked together to defeat the level 14 monster. But the news of the battle attracted a large number of monsters to come one after another. A few hours have passed, and there must be thousands of monsters outside now, right? Lu Zi shook his head in his heart, not knowing how to deal with the thousands of monsters outside. Seeing that he didn't say a word, Xu Jing became even more angry. She was about to say something, but was stopped by Chen Zihan. "Sister Jing, now is not the time to accuse him. It's better to think of a way to escape quickly. 2 of my 3 delimiters have been used up, and now it's the last one, and it's about to expire. Once there are no delimiters to stop these monsters, we will have to face them head-on. With the strength of the 3 of us, we are no match for them." While talking, several giant monsters outside attacked the energy light curtain again and again. The energy light curtain was crumbling and about to break. Xu Jing also knew that the situation was urgent. She glanced at Lu Zi and said, "Didn't you say that you are very powerful? Find a way to deal with these monsters quickly." Lu Zi was speechless and looked ugly. He wanted to deal with these monsters, but his strength didn't allow it. Those monsters below level 10 are okay, and the skeleton warriors can barely deal with them. But monsters above level 10 are difficult to deal with, and there are dozens of them here. Especially since there are 2 powerful level 14 monsters inside. It took a lot of effort for the 3 of them to deal with the previous 14 monsters. Now there are 2 level 14 monsters, plus a dozen level 13 monsters, which is completely impossible to deal with. Lu Zi racked his brains and couldn't think of a solution, so he could only remain silent. Xu Jing also knew that it was useless to count on him. She turned to look at Chen Zihan and asked, "Zihan, is there anything you can do?" Chen Zihan thought for a while, sighed, shook his head and said, "There are too many monsters here, and there are 2 level 14 monsters. We are no match at all, and we can't even escape." "Isn't that the end?" Xu Jing was a little discouraged. Seeing the energy light curtain crumbling, she had no way to deal with it. Boom! 2 level 14 monsters joined forces to attack an energy light screen. There was a click. A crack appeared in the energy light curtain. The 3 people's hearts suddenly rose to their throats. As soon as the energy light barrier breaks, these monsters will rush up and besiege them to death. Xu Jing and Lu Zi turned pale and took 2 steps back unconsciously. Chen Zihan was more calm. She has a teleportation talisman that allows her to escape from the secret realm at any time. But she couldn't just watch Xu Jing and Lu Zi being killed, she had to find a way quickly. Boom! Another powerful attack. The cracks on the energy screen instantly increased to more than a dozen, and they were still increasing. As soon as the 2 level 14 monsters attack again, the energy light curtain will shatter. Xu Jing and Lu Zi both began to despair, feeling that the breath of death was getting closer and closer to them. Only, the imagined attack did not occur. Instead, they saw two level 14 monsters, turning around and heading in the opposite direction. Not only them, but also a large number of monsters also gathered in the opposite direction. How is this going? Why have all the monsters retreated? Doubts arose in the hearts of the three of them. Chen Zihan had the keenest sense and spotted the figures of Lin Fei and the others from a distance, and said in surprise, "It's Lin Fei and the others, they're here to help us." Xu Jing suddenly realized, and her tense mood finally relaxed for a moment. However, Lu Zi still looked serious and said calmly, "There are too many monsters here, and there are two level 14 monsters. They cannot be opponents. They probably won't last long." Xu Jing and Chen Zihan also looked worried when they heard this. The difficult boss in the novice copy is only level 10. But there are many level 10 and above monsters here, and there are even two level 14 monsters. No matter how strong Lin Fei is, he may not be a match for these monsters. While he was worried, he heard Lu Zi sneer and say, "Haha, they came at the right time. As soon as they arrived, the monsters were attracted by them, which just gave us a chance to escape." Lu Zi looked at the monsters around him. They were basically all below level 10. He was confident that he would take this opportunity to break out and escape. Xu Jing frowned and said, "What do you mean? People come to help us, but we have to leave? Doesn't that trick them?" Lu Zi had no expression on his face and said in a nonchalant manner, "What will happen if we stay? There are so many monsters, and even adding the three of us will not help. We might as well take advantage of this opportunity to escape." Xu Jing frowned, feeling something was wrong, and insisted, "We can't just leave. If we stay, we can attract some monsters and reduce their pressure." Chen Zihan also nodded in agreement. "They came here specifically to help us, we can't just leave like this." "You." Lu Zi looked at the two people who were determined to stay, his eyes were wandering, and he said eagerly, "Don't be arrogant, it will be too late if you don't leave. If you want to escape, you can escape by yourself. Zihan and I will stay together." Xu Jing rejected Lu Zi without even thinking. Chen Zihan stood aside and thought for a moment, then advised Lu Zi, "Lin Fei and the others are not fools. Since they dare to help us, they must have a backup plan. Maybe they have a way to deal with monsters. You'd better not leave and stay together." Lu Zi said with a look of disbelief, "This is impossible. You'd better leave with me as soon as possible, otherwise it will be too late if the monsters finish them off." In fact, he knew that there was some truth in what Chen Zihan said. But I was so scared, he didn't dare to place his hopes on Lin Fei and the others. Seeing that the monsters around him were being lured away, and there was hope of breaking out, of course he had to leave as soon as possible, and he must not stay here to wait for death. Seeing that Chen Zihan and Xu Jing did not respond to him, it seemed that they must stay. Lu Zi gritted his teeth and led dozens of his skeleton warriors to rush out of the energy light curtain. The skeleton warriors formed a circle, firmly protecting Lu Zi in the middle, blocking the oncoming monsters while quickly moving away from the square. Not long after, Lu Zi disappeared from the sight of Xu Jing and the others. Seeing Lu Zi running away, Xu Jing looked at Chen Zihan and said, "What should we do next?" Chen Zihan looked at the cracked energy light curtain and saw that there was no sign of it breaking immediately. He said with relief, "The powerful monsters have been lured away. It seems that the dividing talisman can still support it for a while. We are still safe for the time being. We will take advantage of this period to try our best to contain these monsters, relieve Lin Fei and the others, and see what they will do next." Chen Zihan didn't believe that Lin Fei and the others didn't know how powerful these thousands of monsters were. Since they dared to take action, they must have a way to deal with it. Xu Jing nodded in agreement, put the two guns in her backpack, took out a submachine gun, and fired outside the light screen, using violent attacks to contain as many monsters as possible. Chen Zihan also took out his short blade and came to the edge of the energy light curtain, killing as many monsters as possible. The other end. Seeing the surging monster army, especially the two leading ones who turned out to be level 14 monsters, Xu Hui's legs trembled involuntarily. Although I have confidence in Brother Fei, I still can't help but ask, "Fei, Brother Fei, can you deal with it?" "Don't worry, we can handle it. Just watch from here. Lin Fei comforted him and snapped his fingers with his right hand, signaling the undead ghosts to stop these monsters. The undead ghost moved forward instantly, raised his sword and rushed towards the monster army. Lin Fei looked behind the monster army and said to Xu Wei and Liang Jia, "Chen Zihan and the others are still trapped inside. I will rescue them." "Okay. Brother Fei, Xiao, Xin." Before Xu Wei finished speaking, Lin Fei disappeared. Next moment, Lin Fei appeared in the energy light curtain. "Lin Fei." Xu Jing stared at Lin Fei, who suddenly appeared, and said in surprise, "Aren't you on the opposite side? How did you get here?" Chen Zihan next to him was also stunned for a moment, but immediately thought that he must have used teleportation or other abilities. Lin Fei didn't have time to talk nonsense to them now, so he simply explained, "I'm here to take you out." He looked around again, frowned and asked, "Where is Lu Zi? I saw him trapped here before, why is he missing now?" Xu Jing looked embarrassed when she heard this. Lu Zi ran away from the battle, and she was embarrassed to tell Lin Fei. Chen Zihan was still calm, and said, "After the monster was attracted to you, he saw that the monster's defense was weak, so he ran away by himself." Lin Fei understood after hearing this, but he was too lazy to care about it, and said to the two of them, "It's too dangerous here. I will take you to a safe place now." The next second, he directly used his teleportation skills to take Xu Jing and Chen Zihan away from the place. Lin Fei had discovered before that teleportation skills not only allowed him to teleport, but could also teleport others with him. But if you teleport with others, the mana consumed will increase exponentially. The last time I brought Fatty Shu down from the water tower, he consumed 100 mana points. This time, teleporting with Chen Zihan and Xu Jing consumed 200 mana points. Plus the 50 mana consumed by teleporting here just now. His 260 mana points now only have 10 points left. Fortunately, he can use the mana recovery potion again, and the mana consumption is nothing. The scene in front of them changed. In the next second, Chen Zihan and Xu Jing found themselves at the edge of the square and were no longer surrounded by monsters. They were immediately overjoyed. But now is not the time to be happy. Xu Jing said to Lin Fei directly without thinking, "Since we have been rescued, let's leave as soon as possible. These monsters are too strong. There are even 2 level 14 monsters in them. We combined are no match for them." She thought that Lin Fei's backup was his teleportation ability that could rescue them from the siege. Now that he and Zihan have been rescued, they naturally have to run away quickly, otherwise they will be surrounded by monsters again. But Lin Fei didn't seem to hear her and didn't answer her words. She became even more anxious. Just when she was about to say something, Chen Zihan pulled her sleeves a few times. "There are no level 14 monsters now," Chen Zihan whispered in her ear. "No more level 14 monsters? What does it mean?" Xu Jing was puzzled. Turning around, he saw the undead ghost facing the monster army alone with a sword. The corpses of 2 level 14 monsters were now lying at its feet. Xu Jing opened her eyes wide, unable to believe that what she saw was real. 2 level 14 monsters just died? Killed by Lin Fei's summons? Lin Fei actually has the ability to kill level 14 monsters. This is too awesome. Only then did Xu Jing understand. No wonder Lin Fei ignored her. With this kind of strength, there is no need to run away, just kill these monsters. Although Chen Zihan looked calm, he was no less shocked than Xu Jing. No wonder both his father and Mr. Zhou said that Lin Fei could definitely be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. He can kill level 14 monsters, and the strength of his summons is at least level 15. With this strength, there is really no problem in getting admitted to Longguo Vocational University. Compared with Chen Zihan and Xu Jing, who were extremely surprised, Liang Jia and Xu Wei were already accustomed to this. They had seen the terrifying power of the undead ghosts in the difficult level Secret Realm. Now that I saw it killing a level 14 monster, I just thought it was normal. Lin Fei's strength should be like this. Xu Wei was full of confidence at the moment. Looking at the monster army, he was drooling with excitement while gearing up and saying, "Hey, come on, the more you come, the better. All of it will be turned into experience to help me level up." Lin Fei smiled when he heard this, looked at the four of them and said, "The high-level monsters, the undead ghosts, will be dealt with, and the remaining low-level monsters will be left to you. With this line as the boundary, the ghosts of the dead will not let monsters cross this dividing line. If you are tired from fighting, you can go back and rest," Lin Fei said, pointing to the dividing line just drawn at the feet of the undead ghosts. "Okay." After hearing this, Shu Wei clenched his fists excitedly. Liang Jia rushed forward with his sword, and the four-sword energy instantly strangulated four monsters. Not to be outdone, Shu Wei drew his bow and arrows, and shot the arrows into the monster army one by one, killing monsters continuously. Chen Zihan and Xu Jing were originally a little worried. But seeing the undead ghosts guarding the dividing line, the monsters came one after another, but really none of them could cross the dividing line drawn by Lin Fei. Now they couldn't help it anymore. Xu Jing took out her two guns, came to the left side of Shu Wei, aimed at the monster and kept shooting. Chen Zihan also rushed forward with a short blade in hand, fighting side by side with Liang Jia. Only Lin Fei stood leisurely at the back, as if the battle had nothing to do with him. "I have just been promoted to level 11. Killing low-level monsters will not gain much experience. Now I should hunt specifically for high-level monsters." Lin Fei thought this in his mind and opened his attribute panel to take a look. He received the promotion prompt when two level 14 monsters were killed. Name: Lin Fei. Occupation: Undead Lord, only. Level: 11, 0.23%. Life: 260. Strength: 300. Agility: 260. Mana: 300 280ths plus 20. Equipment: Magic Ring. Backpack space: 37 150ths. Army: Undead Ghost. As the level increases, more arms can be unlocked. Skills: Normal Shield, Teleportation, Bone Spurs, Summoning Undead Ghosts. Ordinary Shield. Consumes 50 mana points, offsets 35% of the enemy's damage, lasts for 7 minutes, and can be used on multiple professionals at the same time. Teleportation. Consumes 70 mana points to instantly move 2,000 meters in the specified direction. Bone Spurs. Consumes 100 mana points to summon bone spurs from the ground to attack the enemy, causing physical damage to the target. Summon the Undead Ghost. Spend 10 mana points to summon an undead ghost. Talent: Infinite Synthesis. Synthesize any number and type of items and summons to obtain items with corresponding random abilities and corresponding random levels. The four-dimensional attributes have increased a lot, and the mana has also returned to full value. Lin Fei nodded with satisfaction. This was just the beginning. He wanted to upgrade his level to at least level 13 in Secret Realm. Closing the Properties panel, Lin Fei looked forward. The battle ahead is becoming more and more intense, and the noise generated is getting louder and louder. Monsters are constantly being attracted to join the battle group. The four of Shu Wei tried their best to strangulate the monster. But there are too many monsters, and the strangulation can't be completed in a short time. And as time goes by, their physical strength and mana continue to be consumed, and they are about to bottom out. Fortunately, Lin Fei had drawn the dividing line in advance. When they were exhausted, they could retreat to the dividing line to rest and recuperate, and then join the battle again. By the late stage, the four of them had taken the initiative to divide into two groups, one for rest and one for strangulation monsters, taking turns. Finally, it took a full day and night to finally eliminate the strangulation of the monsters. It is finally over. Shu Wei watched the last monster be killed by Liang Jia with one sword. He breathed a sigh of relief, and then sat down on the ground tiredly. He shot so many arrows that day and night that his arms and legs were already numb. The situation of the other three people was not much better. They were all exhausted and rested on the spot. Only Lin Fei still looked relaxed and opened the mission panel unhurriedly. The number of monsters on it had become 3,343 5,000ths. In other words, in this day and night, they killed nearly 3,000 monsters in total. It's pretty crazy, and of course there are a lot of rewards. After Lin Fei killed a group of high-level monsters with the undead ghost, he was naturally promoted to level 12. Shu Wei was also promoted to level 9 midway and was quickly approaching level 10. Liang Jia and Shu Jing have been promoted to level 10. During this period, Chen Zihan also upgraded to level 1 and reached level 11. Seeing that the experience bar on my attribute panel has reached 90%, I will soon be promoted to level 10 like my elder sister. Shu Wei collapsed on the ground, smiling from ear to ear. Liang Jia was very happy to see that she was already at level 10. As for Shu Jing and Chen Zihan, in addition to being excited, the way they looked at Lin Fei changed. If you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, you wouldn't have thought that Lin Fei was so powerful. All day and night, not a single monster crossed the dividing line. They had no doubt that Lin Fei could kill all the monsters by himself, and even faster. I am really lucky to be able to conquer Secret Realm with teammates like Lin Fei. Lin Fei closed the character panel, looked at the resting people and said, "Now we have killed more than 3,000 monsters, and there are still 1,657 monsters left that have not been killed. We must deal with them within 3 days." Everyone nodded, with joy on their faces. More than 1,000 monsters are no longer a concern, killing them is only a matter of time. Shu Jing thought for a while and then said, "These monsters should be scattered throughout the city. It will probably take a lot of time to find and kill them one by one." Lin Fei nodded and said helplessly, "There is nothing we can do about this. All the monsters that can be attracted have been attracted and killed. The remaining monsters cannot be attracted, so we can only search like a carpet and kill them one by one." Found it. There are 2 ways to find them now. One way is for everyone to search together, which is safer. One is to search separately, which is faster. What's your opinion? The 4 of them said in unison without even thinking, of course together. Although the remaining monsters are nothing to worry about, there are still more than 1,000 after all. Who knows how many level 14 monsters there are? Only by staying by Lin Fei's side was he absolutely safe. Moreover, after this battle, they had become accustomed to relying on Lin Fei and were unwilling to be separated from Lin Fei. Everyone agreed, and Lin Fei had nothing to say. 3 days should be enough to find all the monsters. He nodded and agreed. In that case, let's look for the monsters together. You guys rest for 3 hours first, and we'll set out together in 3 hours. Everyone nodded in agreement and began to concentrate on resting. Lin Fei was not idle either and brought the ghosts of the dead to the square. More than 2,000 monsters were killed, which meant that more than 2,000 items were dropped. Although many items were broken during the battle, many more were intact, including many level 7 and level 8 items, so of course they cannot be let go. After spending some time, Lin Fei collected level 7 and above items and distributed them to everyone. After they finished resting, they set off together and began a carpet search in the City of Despair to eliminate all monsters. These monsters are really scattered, it takes too much time to find them. Shu Wei shot the last level 8 monster in the building to death with 1 arrow and muttered something in his mouth. After spending most of the day searching Beicheng district, we only killed more than 400 monsters. At this rate, it would take at least 2 days to wipe out all the monsters. He has begun to miss the time when he was killing monsters in the square. It was so exciting to kill at that time, with a steady stream of monsters coming to the door to die. Unlike now, it took 10 minutes to find 7 or 8 monsters, which was not enough for them to fill their teeth. "Okay, wasn't it nice to see you when I was promoted to level 10 just now?" Lin Fei stood beside him and said lightly. Hee. Fatty Shu touched his head and giggled twice. The monsters found in the past half-day were of very low levels, so most of them were left to him to deal with. With this, he was promoted to level 10 and finally caught up with his eldest sister. Liang Jia also said at this time, "Slow speed is expected." Moreover, it only takes 2 days to kill all the monsters in the 4 cities and complete the mission, which is already very good. They divided the City of Despair into 4 urban areas, southeast, southeast, and northwest, and searched one by one in order. I have already searched Beicheng district in half a day. The remaining 3 urban areas are estimated to take about the same time. It took 2 days in total, 1 day earlier than the 3 days Lin Fei said before. "Keep going." Lin Fei shouted and led everyone towards Dongsheng district in a clockwise direction. The ghosts of the undead are exploring the way at the front. Behind them were Lin Fei, Shu Wei and Liang Jie. Chen Zihan and Xu Jing were behind the scenes. Chen Zihan walked on Xu Jing's left, looked at the three people in front of him, and whispered in Xu Jing's ear. Sister Jing, how do you plan to form a team for the college entrance examination? Xu Jing said softly. The principal found me before and hoped that I could form a team with Lu Zi, so that the results would be better, but now. Lu Zi escaped before the battle. Although she couldn't blame herself, it was impossible for her to form a team with Lu Zi. Let's talk after we clear the level. Xu Jing thought for a while and said. Chen Zihan poked her soft waist at this time, motioned to look at Lin Fei in front, and whispered. I think it's best for you to fight for it and form a team with Lin Fei. Xu Jing forced a smile when she heard this and said to herself, I do, but do people like me? Looking at Chen Zihan, he said with envy in his eyes. I'm not as lucky as you. I'm not a student of number 2 middle school, and I'm not familiar with Lin Fei. How could they take me? Get along these 2 days. She has clearly seen that Lin Fei is not only powerful, but also takes great care of his teammates. He is simply the best candidate to form a team for the college entrance examination, many times better than Lu Zi. Of course she wanted to be able to team up with Lin Fei to take the college entrance examination. But this is just his wishful thinking. Lin Fei may not be able to like him. Chen Zihan was silent for a moment and then said, How will you know if you don't try? I think Lin Fei is pretty easy to talk to. Xu Jing shook her head and said, he should have completed forming the team long ago. I have no chance. People in Riverside City who want to team up with Lin Fei to take the college entrance examination are like crucian carp crossing the river. I heard that many people blocked his house directly, and even Lu Zi's family sent people there. I'm afraid Lin Fei has already decided on the candidate, so where is his chance? Chen Zihan had a different view and analyzed softly. He helped Xu Wei and Liang Jie get the places for Secret Realm in this strategy. Obviously he wanted to form a team with them for the college entrance examination. Including me, there are only 4 people, and there is still 1 person missing. This person Lin Fei probably doesn't have a candidate yet, otherwise he would definitely be given a spot to conquer Secret Realm. So, I think you still have a chance. Xu Jing's eyes lit up when she heard this and she nodded heavily. It makes sense. Chen Zihan added, if I have an opportunity later, I'll ask Lin Fei about forming a team for the college entrance examination, and I'll help you by the way. Seeing hope, Xu Jing thanked her sincerely. Zihan, thank you so much. What relationship do we have? Why should we thank you? Chen Zihan said angrily. Besides, it's not certain whether it will work out or not. Xu Jing smiled, feeling both expectant and nervous. Time passed slowly, and another whole day passed before I knew it. Searches in Dongcheng District and Nanchang District have been completed. The number of monsters on the mission panel has also changed to 4,588 5,000ths. There are more than 400 monsters left scattered in Xicheng District. It is estimated that it will take half a day to complete the search in Xicheng District, kill all the monsters, and complete the mission. The 5 people entered Xicheng District with high spirits and started searching seriously. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Chen Zihan came to Lin Fei and asked, Lin Fei, have you found all the team members for the college entrance examination? She teamed up with Lin Fei for the college entrance examination, so it was reasonable to ask this question. When Lin Fei heard this, he remembered that he hadn't mentioned this matter to Xu Wei and Liang Jie yet. So he turned to Fatty Xu and Liang Jie and asked, are you willing to form a team with me to take the college entrance examination? Of course I do. Xu Wei nodded heavily. Of course, he could only dream of being able to form a team with Fei Zhe to take the college entrance examination. Liang Jie was not surprised and nodded in agreement. Okay. Lin Fei nodded, looked at Chen Zihan and said, Xu Wei, Liang Jie, plus you and me, there are already 4 people. There is 1 left. I haven't thought about it yet, let's wait until we clear the level. There are many people who want to form a team with him to take the college entrance examination, so he is not anxious at all. Chen Zihan had already guessed this result. He glanced at Xu Jing not far away and asked Lin Fei in a low voice. What do you think about letting Sister Jing form a team with us for the college entrance examination? Xu Jing. Lin Fei turned around and glanced at Xu Jing. Xu Jing was a rare professional in number 1 middle school. He felt that the principal of number 1 middle school must have made arrangements, so he didn't think about it. In fact, all high school students basically only team up with classmates from their own school to take the college entrance examination. Unless they are very familiar with each other, or in the case of Chen Zihan, they rarely form teams with students from other schools. Lin Fei was also based on this convention, so he never thought of inviting Xu Jing to form a team. But since Chen Zihan said so, he can also consider it. Not far away, Xu Jing looked at Lin Fei, who was meditating, and her originally calm mood suddenly became tense. Don't know what the final result will be. Lin Fei pondered for a while and then said, if she is willing to form a team with us, I have no objection. When Xu Jing heard this, her nervousness suddenly relaxed, and she felt a little happy in her heart. Sister Jing, are you willing to team up with us for the college entrance examination? Chen Zihan turned around and asked, signaling Xu Jing not to miss this opportunity. Xu Jing also knew that the opportunity was once in a lifetime, and if she missed it, it would be gone. She took a deep breath and said, of course I am willing. Even if the principal objects after going out, she will insist on teaming up with Lin Fei. Seeing that Xu Jing agreed, Lin Fei turned to look at Xu Wei and Liang Jia and asked, do you have any opinions? Although you can decide on team formation alone, you still have to respect everyone's ideas. Xu Wei and Liang Jia both shook their heads, no objection. Of course they had no problem with it. Xu Jing is a rare professional, and now she is teaming up with them to conquer Secret Realm. It would be great to be able to form a team together to take the college entrance examination. Then this matter is settled. Lin Fei finally made the decision. Hearing this, Chen Zihan and Xu Jing both looked happy. Xu Jing also quietly gestured to Chen Zihan, obviously very excited. The team formation for the college entrance examination has been decided. Several people continued to set off, taking half a day to thoroughly clean up Xicheng District. Another half day passed. Xicheng District. Perfect blade. Liang Jia waved her long sword, and 4 silver sword energies appeared out of thin air, slashing at the level 10 zombies that were rushing towards them. The zombie was already scarred. After being hit by these 4 silver sword energies, its body was directly divided into 2 parts, and it died completely. This is the 4999th one. There is only one left. It should be the Secret Realm boss. Liang Jia sheathed her sword, looked at the mission panel, and said to everyone, it's just that we have searched the City of Despair and haven't found it yet. Is there something missing? Xu Wei thought for a while and asked. He felt that there was a high possibility of omissions. After all, Despair City was so large, there might be some places that people like him had not seen. Xu Jing, who was standing aside, shook her head and said, we searched very carefully and there was nothing missing. So where is it hidden? Liang Jia and the 3 of them couldn't understand. Chen Zihan, who had been silent all this time, now said, we have only searched the ground, but we have not searched the sky or the ground yet. So this boss is either in the sky or underground. Xu Wei looked embarrassed when he heard this. Then how to find it? You can't fly into the sky or crawl into the ground, right? None of the 5 of them have such ability. Lin Fei thought for a moment and said, let's wait and see. Maybe it will come to our door by itself without us having to look for it. Isn't this the same routine for bosses in the game? He just finished speaking. Then there was a loud bang from the east direction. It's the center of the city. Chen Zihan had a keen sense and instantly judged that the location of the loud noise was in the center of the city. It should be the Secret Realm boss who has appeared. Lin Fei nodded and said to several people, let's go over and take a look. Then, the undead ghost opened the way, and several people, led by Lin Fei, quickly rushed towards the center of the city. City center. The originally huge square has disappeared. In its place was a huge, deep pit. A dark figure covered in mud crawled out from under the soil at the edge of the pit. Bah! 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 I was almost buried alive. Lu Zi wiped his face and spat out the dirt in his mouth. Fortunately, I reacted quickly and was lucky, so I narrowly escaped. It was just a short while after I was thankful. He felt as if a pair of eyes were watching him from behind, and the hairs on his body immediately stood up, as if the prey was being stared at by a predator. Poison. Toadstool. Turning around stiffly, Lu Zi saw a giant toad staring at him in the distance, and was immediately frightened to death. Quack! The toadstool roared, and the sound waves it produced destroyed a lot of surrounding buildings. Then he kicked off his legs and rushed towards Lu Zi. Run! Lu Zi secretly screamed, not caring about his dirty body, and hurriedly ran forward. This is a level 15 monster. If caught, he would be dead. While running, Lu Zi did not forget to glance back a few times. Seeing the poisonous toad getting closer and closer to him, he couldn't help but wailed in his heart. What hatred or resentment? Why are you just staring at me? I've been tortured by you for 3 days, and you still won't let me go. Lu Zi thought of what he had experienced in the past 3 days and couldn't help lamenting the twists and turns of his fate. He had finally escaped from the siege of monsters and was out of danger. I wanted to find a safe place to hide for a while. But there are monsters everywhere in the city of despair, and there is no safe place at all. And if you run around, you can easily attract a lot of monsters. Wisely, he thought for a long time and finally thought that since the ground was full of monsters, I could hide underground. Even if there are monsters underground, there won't be many, at least they are safer than the ground. So I found a wellhead and plunged into the sewer. The sewer leads directly underground, and it is also a very large underground space. There really aren't many monsters in there. In other words, there is only one, the secret realm boss toadstool. Lu Zi's heart froze when he first saw the toad. I really just stepped out of the wolf's den and into the tiger's den. Level 15's secret realm boss, you can kill yourself with just a wave of your hand. If I had known this, I might as well have stayed where I was and fought alongside Chen Zihan and the others. Lu Zi felt like crying, but the result could not be changed. Good thing. Toadstool remains asleep. The movement he just caused did not wake him up. Lu Zi's heart was finally relieved a little. I wanted to leave quietly while the toad was sleeping. But after taking only 2 steps, he saw that the sound he made as he walked seemed to wake up the toadstool, which frightened him to stop quickly. After waiting for a while and seeing that the toadstool was not awakened, he felt relieved and tried to leave again. As a result, after taking only 2 steps, Toadstool Toad heard footsteps and his eyelids showed signs of moving again. Lu Zi was about to collapse. Brother, I didn't wake you up with all the noise I made just now. Just walking a few steps and you're woken up. This is too unreasonable, right? But it obviously doesn't make sense. Lu Zi could only accept the result silently, knowing that he might not be able to get out for a while. He stayed there with a look of helplessness on his face, not daring to do anything or make any sound for fear of waking up the toadstool. Then, I held on for 3 days and 3 nights. Lu Zi only felt sore all over, there was no comfortable place anywhere, and his body no longer felt like his own. I was even more crazy inside, feeling like I had fallen into hell and been tortured. Good thing. As long as he survives 1 more day, 5 days will be up and he can be teleported out and escape from this hell. Unexpectedly, the toadstool woke up next. It was so powerful and ferocious that the bomb mushrooms covering its body exploded, blowing up the entire underground space. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and was lucky, so he was not killed. But he survived the catastrophe, but he had no future blessings. He was targeted by the awakened toadstool again, and was hunted as prey, and struggled to escape. It's so hard for me. Lu Zi kept wailing in his heart as he ran away. It's only 1 day away, just 1 day away, can't you sleep for 1 more day? Damn it. Why did you catch up so quickly? Seeing the poisonous toad getting closer and closer to him, Lu Zi cursed secretly and became even more anxious. He had to find a way to stop it quickly, otherwise he would be dead. But after much deliberation, I couldn't think of any good solution. Time waited for no one. The toadstool was already very close to him, and its terrifying aura sent shivers down his spine. Lu Zi's heartbeat accelerated and he was extremely frightened. He gritted his teeth and made a difficult decision. Skeleton army, block it for me. Release all skeleton warriors from the backpack space and order them to fend off the toadstool. Dozens of skeleton warriors received the order and stopped in place to stop the toadstool. Lu Zi himself continued to run for his life. The skeleton warrior can't stop it for long. I have to find a way as soon as possible to get rid of this damn toadstool. He knew very well in his heart that his skeleton warrior could not be the opponent of the toadstool toad. At most, he could only buy himself a moment of time. He must use this precious time bought by the skeleton warrior to get rid of the toad. But, is there any way to get rid of it? Lu Zi racked his brains and couldn't figure out a way to get rid of the toad. We can only take one step at a time, and try to run as far away as possible while the skeleton army is blocking the toads. He didn't know that just 2,000 meters ahead, 5 people were leisurely watching his escape. Brother Fei, Lu Zi is being chased by the secret realm boss so miserably. Shu Wei looked at the embarrassed Lu Zi in the distance and couldn't help but clapped his hands, looking gloating. Liang Jia also glanced at the disgraced Lu Zi, turned to look at Lin Fei, and asked, "Do you want to save him?" "Help." Before Lin Fei could say anything, Shu Wei curled his lips and snorted, "Let's just pretend we didn't see him and let the toads beat him to death." He already knew about Lu Zi's escape, so he was very dissatisfied with this guy and wished he would die here. When Chen Zihan and Xu Jing heard this, their expressions were expressionless, and they had no need to speak for Lu Zi. Liang Jia looked indifferent and even agreed with Xu Hui's opinion. Everyone just pretended not to see it and let Lu Zi fend for himself. But on how to do it specifically, we still have to listen to Lin Fei's opinion. Lin Fei's eyes were sharp and he said calmly, "I didn't plan to save him, but this guy is very lucky. Any skeleton warriors who can buy him time can reach us before the toadstool toad catches up. When the time comes, we won't be able to do anything even if we don't think about it." Liang Jia nodded when he heard this but said nothing. Shu Wei curled his lips and muttered, "You are really lucky to be able to survive this." He raised his head and found that the skeleton warriors in the distance were being smashed to pieces by toads one by one. He couldn't help but gloated. Hey, this guy was able to escape by chance, but those skeleton warriors were not so lucky. I'm afraid none of them will be killed. There's not much left. The total value of the armors and weapons equipped by Lu Zi's dozens of skeleton warriors is at least several million gold coins. Shu Wei felt happy when he thought that Lu Zi had to watch these millions of gold coins go down the drain with his own eyes. This was how he should be punished. Lin Fei said nothing, but raised his hand to signal the undead ghost not to act in a hurry and to wait until the toadstool came over. Lu Zi on the opposite side hadn't noticed Lin Fei and the others yet, and was still running frantically for his life. Every time I look back to check the situation, I can see several skeleton warriors being trampled to death by toads, and their equipment also turned into pieces. He couldn't help but the corners of his mouth twitched, and his heart ached. This is equipment worth millions of gold coins. It was so wasted. Pain. It hurts so much. Lu Zi's heart was bleeding. The Lu family spent a lot of money to buy these equipment for him to take the college entrance examination. Now that it's gone, what should I do in the college entrance examination? The Lu family doesn't have that much financial resources to prepare another set for themselves. Resisting not to look back, Lu Zi continued to run forward desperately, running as far as possible. Didn't run long. Lu Zi suddenly discovered that Lin Fei and the other 5 people were standing in front of him alive. I was stunned for a moment, and my steps couldn't help but slow down. Are they still alive? Did they escape from the siege of thousands of monsters? And it's still intact, no one died? Is this true? Isn't it because I'm too nervous and hallucinating? Lu Zi thought he was hallucinating, but as the distance gets closer and closer, he saw clearly the expressionless Liang Jia, the disdainful Shu Wei, and the inexplicable expressions of Chen Zihan, and finally knew that he was not hallucinating and that they were really alive. They couldn't help but feel horrified, wondering how they survived in the hands of thousands of monsters. Lin Fei glanced at the surprised Lu Zi and saw that the toads in front had completely wiped out the skeleton army and were getting closer and closer to him, so he clapped his hands and ordered to the undead ghost, "Go and deal with it." The undead ghost instantly turned into an afterimage, and rushed towards the toadstool toad with his sword in hand. Shu Wei and the other 4 were already used to this, and they looked like they were waiting for a good show. Only Lu Zi couldn't help but froze for a moment after hearing Lin Fei's voice. What did he just say? Solve the toadstool. Is that the level 15 secret realm boss? Do you have that strength? Lu Zi glanced back with disbelief, and then froze on the spot. I saw the undead ghost wielding a sword and fighting Toadstool. The Toadstool took a blow from the sword and stepped back for more than 10 steps before it could stabilize its body. This, Lu Zi's eyes widened, his Adam's apple rolled, and he swallowed, his face full of disbelief. It actually blocked the progress of the Toadstool Toad. And he also fought vigorously with the Toad. Lin Fei's strength is so powerful that he can even deal with the level 15 Secret Realm boss. Lu Zi really didn't know what to say. He felt disappointed when he thought that he could only run away from level 15 monsters, but Lin Fei could fight them vigorously. Fortunately, Lin Fei is strong and can block the toads, which is a good thing for him now. He was finally out of danger and no longer had to run away. Lu Zi felt a sense of joy in his heart, felt relieved, and walked slowly in front of the 5 people. It stinks. As soon as Lu Zi came over, Shu Wei smelled a foul smell and couldn't help but pinch his nose and take 5 steps back. Several other people also smelled the stench emanating from Lu Zi's body, and scattered and hid far away. Did you fall into the pit? Shu Wei asked Lu Zi with a stern look on his face when he reached the safe area. Lu Zi opened his mouth and wanted to defend himself, but in the end he remained silent. You can't tell them that you become so smelly because you have been hiding in the sewers. When he saw several people, they all avoided him as if they were seeing the god of plague. Lu Zi was so depressed that he found a remote corner to change into clean clothes and dissipate the odor from his body. Only then did Shi Shiren appear in front of everyone again. But none of the 5 people paid attention to him. Lu Zi knew that it was because he ran away alone before that he was so unpopular. He shamelessly came to Chen Zihan and Xu Jing, forced a smile to please them and said, Zihan, Xu Jing, it's great to see that you are okay. Chen Zihan remained silent, as if he didn't hear. Xu Jing glanced at him mockingly and said lightly, with Lin Fei here, of course we will be fine. You, on the other hand, are quite good at hiding. We searched the entire city and didn't find you. Lu Zi smiled awkwardly. He would rather not be so good at hiding, otherwise he wouldn't have had the miserable 3 days before. It's just that you should never say this kind of thing, so you quickly changed the subject and said, how did you escape in the first place? There were thousands of monsters, you are really lucky. Unlike me, I am very unlucky and have had bad luck these past few days. Xu Jing curled her lips when she heard this and said calmly, escape? With Lin Fei here, do we still have to escape? Kill as many monsters as there are monsters. You are exaggerating, Lu Zi said with a smile. Xu Jing glanced at him and said calmly, I'm just telling the truth. I'm not exaggerating at all. We really killed all those monsters. How can this be? Lu Zi subconsciously didn't believe it. There were thousands of monsters, and there was a steady stream of monsters coming over. With just the 5 of them, it would be great if they could escape. How could they possibly kill all the monsters? But I caught a glimpse of the undead ghosts fighting the toadstool. He finally understood. Lin Fei's summons can even deal with the level 15 Secret Realm boss. It seems that it is not impossible to kill all those monsters. Seeing Lu Zi's startled look, Xu Jing looked at him with strange eyes and asked, where have you been hiding these days? Why do you act like you don't know anything? We have killed all the monsters in Secret Realm in the past few days, and only the last Secret Realm boss remains. Lu Zi's eyes widened when he heard this, and he quickly opened the task panel. He was trapped in the underground space and didn't dare to do anything, so he didn't look at the mission panel even once in the past few days. After the task panel was opened, the 4999 5000th logo on it was extremely eye-catching. After Lu Zi saw it, he was in a trance. Xu Jing didn't lie to herself, they really killed all the monsters in Secret Realm. Isn't this too fast? Didn't you even leave one for me? No wonder the toadstool suddenly woke up after sleeping peacefully. It turns out that they have cleaned out all the monsters in the Secret Realm, leaving only the Secret Realm booze, the toadstool. Lu Zi suddenly realized it, but his mouth was full of bitterness and he didn't know what to say. He then listened to Xu Jing slowly describe what they had done in the past 3 days. Lin Fei killed all the high-level monsters in the square and helped us deal with all the low-level monsters. Then he took us 2 days to search the entire city and kill all the monsters. Now there is only this last Secret Realm boss left alive. As long as we solve it, we will complete the mission and pass the level. Lu Zi felt dizzy after hearing this. I didn't expect that so many changes had happened in these 3 days. It's a pity that I am still trapped in the underground space stupidly. Then your level. Lu Zi suddenly woke up and looked at Xu Jing. Xu Jing smiled and said proudly, it's already level 10. Not only me, Xu Wei and Liang Jia are also level 10, and Zihan is already level 11. This is all the result of killing monsters with Lin Fei. After hearing this, Lu Zi felt so regretful that his intestines turned green. Before he entered the secret realm, his level was higher than Xu Jing's. Now not only is he surpassed by her, but even Xu Wei, the main combat professional, is higher than himself. How could he accept this? If I had known better, I wouldn't have run away alone. It's just digging your own grave. Not only was 3 days wasted and the level was not raised, but the skeleton army was also wiped out. If I hadn't, and followed Lin Fei to kill monsters, I wouldn't have been worse than Xu Jing, right? Now that all the monsters in Secret Realm have been killed, it is too late to kill monsters and level up even if I want to. Lu Zi wanted to cry but had no tears, and regretted it too much. This time when I conquered Secret Realm, I was completely defeated. Apart from leveling up to level 9, nothing else is gained. It also left the impression that Chen Zihan and Xu Jing were greedy for life and afraid of death. It was really one wrong step after another. I shouldn't have regretted it in the first place. Xu Jing saw the regret on Lu Zi's face and smiled sarcastically. This is your own choice, you can't blame others. Chen Zihan next to him had been silently watching the undead ghost fighting the toad, not paying attention to the conversation between the two. Xu Jing left the lost Lu Zi and approached Chen Zihan. She also looked at the battle over there and muttered, "This battle is a bit long." Yes, after all, it is a level 15 Secret Realm boss, so it should be difficult to deal with. It's a pity that we are too weak to be of much help. Chen Zihan, who had been silent all the time, shook his head and said, "We don't need help. Just watch. Lin Fei will be able to deal with the toadstool soon." Xu Jing shrugged upon hearing this and waited to see. Xu Wei over there also saw that the undead ghost had not taken down the toadstool for a long time, so he said to Lin Fei, "Brother Fei, do you want everyone to take action together?" Lin Fei shook his head and said, "No, this is just a warm-up, the undead ghost hasn't made its move yet. Since you can't wait any longer, then don't waste any time with it. The ghost of the undead, use the enhanced skills to win the battle quickly." The undead ghost received the order and spent 150 mana points to use enhanced skills. After the enhanced skills took effect, the original 690 points of power on the attribute panel instantly doubled to an astonishing 1380 points. The combat power doubled, and the aura of the undead ghost also increased suddenly. Even Liang Jia and the other 5 people in the distance felt a huge coercion acting on themselves, making themselves tremble. The toadstool in front of him was even more overwhelmed by this pressure, and was suffocated. Strengthening skills only last for 30 seconds. So the undead ghost made a quick decision and struck the toad on the back with a sword. The toadstool toad suffered severe injuries on its back, its skin and flesh turned out, leaving a deep wound. Without giving it a chance to breathe, the undead ghost aimed another sword at the wound, directly cutting the toadstool in half, making it impossible to die. Kill level 15 Secret Realm boss toadstool, experience plus 700. Killing Secret Realm boss, you get so much experience. Lin Fei looked at the 7,000 experience points and couldn't help but smile. 7,000 experience can increase the experience bar by 30%. In this way, you can advance to level 13, really. The next second Lin Fei received a promotion prompt. The level on the personal attribute panel has also changed to level 13. Okay, the boss has been dealt with. The mission is finally completed and you can leave. Xu Wei watched the boss being killed, and the number of monsters on the mission panel also changed to 5,000, and he shouted out excitedly. Others were relieved, too. After staying in Secret Realm for 4 full days and 4 nights, I can finally clear it and leave. After the excitement, Xu Wei noticed with sharp eyes that after the toad's body disappeared, a golden scroll was left on the spot. He quickly ran over and bent down to pick it up, then walked to Lin Fei, handed the scroll to him, and said as if offering a treasure, "Brother Fei, your trophy fell from the level 15 Secret Realm boss, take a look at what it is." Lin Fei reached out and took the golden scroll and examined it. Scroll of Dragon Power, level, Black Iron level scroll. Function. After use, the contracted beast can randomly awaken a true dragon ability. Use restrictions. Restrict the use of dragon contract beasts. Brother Fei, what kind of scroll is this? What does it do? Shu Wei asked expectantly. The scroll of dragon power can add an ability to the contracted dragon. Lin Fei shook his head and said with a hint of disappointment. I am not a dragon master and do not have a dragon contracted beast, so this scroll is of little use to me. It's better to wait until you leave Secret Realm, go to the guild to ask about the price, and sell it. Lin Fei casually stuffed the scroll into the backpack space without paying much attention to it. But Chen Zihan, who had always been taciturn, his eyes lit up when he heard what he said, and he blurted out. It turned out to be a scroll of dragon power. Why, do you know this scroll? Shu Wei turned his head and asked curiously. Chen Zihan nodded and said, the scroll of dragon power restricts the use of dragon contracted beasts. Its function is to add an ability to the contracted beast. Note that what is added is the ability, not the skill. General contract beasts only have one talent ability. If you add one, the strength will be greatly improved. Therefore, if this scroll of dragon power is taken out, it will probably be snatched up by professional dragon masters. It is very valuable. When Shu Wei heard Chen Zihan say that the value was very high, his eyes suddenly lit up and he asked in detail. How high is it? Is there 1 million gold coins? Chen Zihan thought for a while and said, this kind of thing is very rare. It has a price but no market. I'm afraid I can't even buy it with 10 million gold coins. Hiss. Shu Wei took a breath after hearing this, rubbed his hands and turned to look at Lin Fei, exclaiming, Brother Fei, you have made a fortune again this time. You can't even buy it with 10 million gold coins. How much is that worth? Lin Fei also didn't expect this dragon power scroll to be so valuable, thinking that this trip to the secret realm was really not in vain. Chen Zihan turned to look at Lin Fei and reminded, this kind of rare scroll has a price but no market. It cannot be measured by gold coins. It is best to keep it in your hands and not sell it. Lin Fei nodded in agreement. I heard that for high-level professionals, the value of gold coins is negligible. The items they need cannot be bought with gold coins, they are basically exchanged for things. Since the Dragon Power Scroll is so rare, of course I want to keep it in my hand, maybe it can come in handy in the future. After hearing these words, others were also shocked by the value of the Dragon Power Scroll, and couldn't help but sigh that it is good to be strong. If I could have Lin Fei's strength and kill the Secret Realm boss alone, I might be able to obtain treasures of this level. Lin Fei smiled at everyone and said, all the monsters have been killed. We should be able to clear the level and leave immediately. Everyone nodded and waited for Secret Realm to teleport themselves out. After a while, 6 rainbow lights suddenly appeared, streaked across the sky, and finally fell on the 6 people. The 6 people heard a sentence in their ears at the same time. Level 10 Secret Realm Despair City is cleared for the first time. Different amounts of experience will be awarded to each person based on their performance in Secret Realm. Is there an unexpected surprise? Lin Fei and the others looked at each other and saw joy in each other's eyes. Then they discovered that the number in the experience bar on their attribute panel was slowly increasing. Brother Fei, I've been promoted to level 11. Shu Wei danced excitedly when he saw that the experience column reached 100% and he was promoted to level 11, and shouted at Lin Fei. Xu Jing and Liang Jisong next to them also looked happy. I have also been promoted to level 11, me too. After they were promoted to level 11, their experience bar continued to increase until it reached 50%. I've been promoted to level 12. Seeing the level column change from 11 to 12, Chen Zihan, who was silent and reserved, couldn't help but get excited. Seeing that they all advanced, Lin Fei smiled happily and focused his attention on his attribute panel again. I only saw the level 13 experience bar, which increased from 10% to 20%, 30%, all the way to 90%. The experience bar was still increasing, and Lin Fei also became nervous, his heart pounding. Can I be promoted to level 14 this time? Keeping his eyes fixed on the experience bar until he saw it increased to 100%, Lin Fei breathed a sigh of relief and couldn't help but get excited along with everyone else. Not only did he achieve his goal of being promoted to level 13, he also exceeded his expectations and reached level 14. Now we are only one step away from level 15. It won't take long for him to be promoted to level 15 and officially activate the system. Lin Fei became more and more excited as he thought about it, completely unaware of the lonely Lu Zi beside him, with a bitter look on his face. Except for killing some monsters in the first few hours after he came in, he didn't kill any monsters in the rest of the time. So his performance in Secret Realm is not generally bad. Although I also received some experience rewards, this little experience was not enough to promote me to level 10, and my level still stayed at level 9. You don't play tricks on people like this. Lu Zi was depressed when he saw the experience column stuck at 93%. The regret in my heart became more and more intense. If he had known this, he should not have left them alone and fled alone. Otherwise, how could he have ended up like this? It's really your own fault. The corners of Lu Zi's mouth twitched, and he resisted tears from flowing out. He turned his head to the side, not looking at the excited Lin Fei and others. After the excitement, Lin Fei felt a force suddenly acting on him, and the surrounding space began to distort. Finally getting out, Lin Fei thought to himself as his figure disappeared into the Secret Realm space. Next moment, Lin Fei's figure reappeared in the Secret Realm Valley, and Shu Wei and Liang Jia were also beside him. It's out! It's finally out! Principal Jin, who had been waiting for 4 days, was the first to see Lin Fei and others come out. He quickly walked to the entrance of Secret Realm and pulled Lin Fei and the other 3 aside. How did you go about conquering Secret Realm this time? Did you gain anything? Principal Jin asked with a concerned look on his face. Lin Fei nodded. It's pretty good, I gained a lot. He turned around and looked at Shu Wei and Liang Jia beside him, and continued. I have been promoted to level 14, and Shu Wei and Liang Jia have also reached level 11. What? Principal Jin's heart pounded for a moment, his eyes widened, and he blurted out. Is it true or not? Really? Lin Fei and the other 3 nodded in unison and showed their rank to the principal. Principal Jin couldn't restrain his excitement after seeing it. His arms trembled and he kept mumbling. I'm overjoyed. I'm really overjoyed. He originally only hoped that Lin Fei could be promoted to level 13 and Liang Jia could be promoted to level 10. As for Shu Wei, he would be satisfied with level 9. I didn't expect them to be so powerful. Not only Lin Fei was promoted to level 14, Liang Jia was promoted to level 11, but even Shu Wei, the weakest main combat professional, was also promoted to level 11. It was really surprising. Principal Jin looked at the 3 of them and smiled from ear to ear. With you here, the results of our number 2 middle school this year will be better than last year. There was excitement on his part. A strange cry came from Principal Wang next to him. What's going on? Lu Zi, why are you only level 9? Principal Wang looked at Lu Zi, who was only level 9, and couldn't believe that this was true. Lu Zi was already at level 8 before entering Secret Realm. How come I was promoted to level 1 after clearing Secret Realm? You know, Shu Jing, who was originally lower than him, is now level 11. What exactly is going on? Looking at the confused principal, Lu Zi felt so embarrassed that he wanted to find a crack in the ground and crawl in. What a shame. Originally, I was level 8, only lower than Lin Fei and Chen Zihan. But now, it's a good thing that he has become the lowest ranking among the 6 people. A dignified hidden professional couldn't even compare to Shu Wei, a main combat professional. He was so embarrassed that he was thrown into his grandma's house. Seeing that Lu Zi didn't speak, Principal Wang turned to look at Shu Jing and Chen Zihan and asked, Tell me, what happened inside? Why is Lu Zi only level 9? He had high hopes for Lu Zi, thinking that after conquering this new level 10 Secret Realm, I can advance to level 11 somehow. Unexpectedly, the final result turned out to be only level 9. On the contrary, Shu Jing was promoted to level 11. Isn't this too outrageous? When Shu Jing heard the principal's question, she first looked at Chen Zihan beside her. When she saw Chen Zihan nodded, she explained, Principal, Lu Zi is in Secret Realm. Halfway through his words, he was interrupted by a flustered Lu Zi. Principal, I will explain this to you when I get back. For now, let's go back to the city quickly. If he said such an embarrassing thing, I'm afraid everyone would look down on him, and he wouldn't have to stay in Riverside City in the future. Principal Wang looked strange after hearing this, but seeing Lu Zi's anxious face, he finally nodded and agreed to Lu Zi's proposal. Xu Jing glanced at Lu Zi mockingly and did not continue. The scene was eerily quiet for a while. Principal Jin stood aside and watched the scene completely. He couldn't help but raise his eyebrows, feeling secretly happy and holding back his laughter. Lu Zi is only level 9. A dignified hidden professional was promoted to level 1 only after conquering the new secret realm at level 10. What a big joke. Xu Wei here is 2 levels higher than him. He probably failed the college entrance examination this year. One middle school is ebbing and the other is ebbing. Number 1 middle school has no chance of competing with our number 2 middle school for first place this year. Principal Jin suppressed his smile and prepared to turn around and ask Lin Fei and the others what happened inside. Why are the 5 of you at higher levels than the other, but Lu Zi is still only at level 9? Zhou Mi stood aside, indifferent to the matter. He was invited by the city lord to specifically guide Chen Zihan, so he only cared about Chen Zihan's situation. I saw Chen Zihan successfully promoted to level 12 after clearing Secret Realm. Zhou Mi nodded with satisfaction. If she teamed up with Lin Fei to take the college entrance examination later, she would have a 60% chance of being admitted to Longguo Vocational University. I can be considered as living up to City Lord Chen's expectations. Seeing that the scene suddenly became quiet, Zhou Mi suggested to everyone. Let's go back quickly. The college entrance examination will start tomorrow. Students need to take the time to rest and prepare. No one had an opinion. Principal Jin pulled Lin Fei and the others onto his hovercar. Principal Wang originally wanted Chen Zihan and the others to come with him so that he could give some instructions on the way. But before the words were spoken, Chen Zihan pulled Xu Jing onto Zhou Mi's hovercar. Principal Wang stood there helplessly, not knowing whether he was targeting himself or Lu Zi. Shaking his head and not thinking about this, he took Lu Zi into the car with him and wanted to ask him what happened inside. Buzz. 9 hover vehicles were started one after another and formed a convoy to leave the Secret Realm Valley. On the road, Principal Jin was sitting in the passenger seat. As soon as he got in the car, he couldn't help but laugh 3 times. Then he couldn't wait to ask Lin Fei and the other 2 people sitting in the back seat. What happened to Lu Zi in there? Why is he only at level 9? Xu Wei shrugged and said nonchalantly, I don't know what the specific situation is. All I know is that when he was besieged by thousands of monsters, he ran away by himself, then hid somewhere and never appeared again. All the monsters in Secret Realm were killed by the 5 of us. He didn't kill many monsters, so he didn't get much experience. He didn't get much experience in the final clearing reward, so he only had level 9. After hearing this, Principal Jin restrained his smile and said calmly, if he ran away from the battlefield, he deserved this end. He looked at the 3 of them again and asked with concern, is it dangerous for you to be surrounded by thousands of monsters in Secret Realm? Are you not injured? We are fine at all. Xu Wei waved his hand and reassured the principal. The 3 people who were besieged were Chen Zihan, Xu Jing, and Lu Zi. We rushed over to rescue them later. Besides, with Brother Fei here, we can kill as many monsters as they come, and they won't pose a threat to us at all. That's good, that's good. Principal Jin felt relieved after hearing this and took another look at Lin Fei. Lin Fei is very powerful. With him here with you, you will indeed be much safer. That's right. Xu Wei nodded heavily, recalling the scene where the undead ghost killed the poisonous toad, and said proudly, Brother Fei solved the level 15 Secret Realm boss by himself. With him, we are not in any danger. Will not have. Hearing that it was Lin Fei who killed the Secret Realm boss by himself, Principal Jin couldn't help but take another look at Lin Fei. He can actually kill the level 15 Secret Realm boss alone, and his strength is even more powerful than he imagined. The college entrance examination is definitely stable this time. Principal Jin showed a smile on his face and said to the 3 of them, tomorrow is the college entrance examination. At that time, a gate will be opened in the teleport plaza in Riverside City. Through the gate, you can enter the location of the college entrance examination, 33rd layer. 33rd layer, as the name suggests, has a total of 33 layers, and each layer has a large number of monsters. After you enter, you have to climb to a higher level, keep killing monsters, and gain points. After the college entrance examination, you will be ranked according to the points you earned in the competition. The higher the points, the higher the ranking. Principal Jin kept talking. Lin Fei and the other three looked calm and listened quietly. This is a commonplace. They learned it in their senior year of high school. All the candidates in our Donghai province will enter the 33rd layer tomorrow to take the college entrance examination. The total number of students is nearly 100,000. If you want to be admitted to the top 100 prestigious schools, your ranking must be above 5,000. If you want to get into the top 10 prestigious schools, you need to be ranked above 500. As for Longguo Vocational University, Donghai province admits 50 people every year. So only the top 50 students among 100,000 people will have the opportunity to enter Longguo Vocational University. Lin Fei and the other three nodded after listening. The situation of the college entrance examination is pretty much the same every year, and they have long been worried about it. It is not an easy task to stand out from hundreds of thousands of candidates. Principal Jin took a sip of water, looked at Lin Fei, and said specifically, based on previous year's experience, if you are promoted to level 15 before the college entrance examination, your final score will basically be around 30, and you can safely enter Longguo Vocational University. The range between 30th and 50th is highly variable. In some big years of college entrance examination, a few level 14 candidates can't even get into the top 50. In some small years of college entrance examination, there are examples of more powerful level 12 candidates who get into the top 50. Although this year is a big year, with your strength, as long as there are no accidents during the exam, it will definitely be no problem to get admitted to Longguo Vocational University. He had just learned that Lin Fei had the ability to kill a level 15 secret realm boss alone, so he was very confident in Lin Fei. Lin Fei nodded, already having a rough idea in his mind. After hearing this, Shu Wei beside him rolled his eyes and asked curiously, "Principal, where did Sister Lin Shui rank in the college entrance examination last year?" 23. Principal Jin replied. She was level 16 before the college entrance examination, and now she ranks 23rd. Shu Hui's eyes widened after hearing the answer, and he couldn't help but be speechless. Principal Jin nodded and explained. Donghai province is so big, there are nearly 100,000 candidates alone, and there are many talented people. There are always some outstanding students every year. Lin Shui can be ranked 23rd, which is already very good. I remember that the top scorer in last year's college entrance examination was promoted to level 18 before the college entrance examination. Level 18? Is this a monster? Shu Wei took a breath, his expression extremely exaggerated. He was just complacent about being promoted to level 11. He didn't expect that there would be a strong among the strong. Someone could actually be promoted to level 18 before the college entrance examination. It was really abnormal. Principal Jin was already used to it and said calmly, "This is not surprising. The top scores in the college entrance examination in Donghai province have always been at level 18 in recent years." After saying that, he took another look at Lin Fei. Although Lin Fei's strength is already very good and he can be admitted to Longguo Vocational University, he will probably only rank in the top 30 in the college entrance examination, which is still much inferior to the top candidates in the college entrance examination. Principal Kim does not expect him to compete with top-level candidates. But Lin Fei fell into deep thought after listening. Level 18. I went home and continued to synthesize the undead ghost, which could at least increase its strength by 2 levels, reaching level 17. If combined with enhanced skills, even level 18 professionals can have a try. If I can advance to level 15 in the college entrance examination and activate the system, my strength will be greatly improved. By then, even level 18 and level 19 professionals might not be their opponents. So, there is still hope for me to compete for the top spot in the college entrance examination. It's just that fighting for the top spot seems to be of no use. Lin Fei shook his head secretly. If it was useless, he wouldn't work so hard to fight for such a false reputation. As long as I can rank among the top 50, I will be sure to get admitted to Longguo Vocational University. Principal Jin didn't know what Lin Fei was thinking, otherwise he would definitely be shocked. Looking at Xu Wei, who was intimidated by the top scorer in the level 18 college entrance examination, he couldn't help but comfort him. Don't think too much, you and the top scorer in the college entrance examination are not at the same level at all. So no matter how powerful they are, it won't affect you. What you have to do is to try to increase your points in the college entrance examination. It's best to be ranked among the top 500 and be admitted to one of the top 10 prestigious schools in Dragon Kingdom. This is his greatest expectation for Xu Wei and Liang Jia. As for Longguo Vocational University, that can only be considered by a genius of Lin Fei's level. Even if Xu Wei and Liang Jia team up with Lin Fei to take the college entrance examination, he doesn't think they have any hope of being admitted to Longguo Vocational University. He gave detailed instructions again. Only then did the principal finish what he wanted to say. The convoy drove through the mountains and wilderness for several hours before returning to Riverside City without any hindrance. Principal Jin sent Lin Fei and the others home one by one, and then asked the driver to drive back to school. Lin Fei got off the car in front of his villa. Seeing that the street in front of the door was no longer crowded with hover cars, I felt relieved and opened the door to go home. As soon as I entered the door, I saw my father watering the flowers and plants in the courtyard leisurely. The father also heard the movement at the door. He looked up and saw that it was his son. He immediately put down the shower and walked over quickly with a smile. My son is back. How was the secret realm strategy this time? It's good. Lin Fei said as he followed his father into the house. I have been promoted to level 14 now. Level 14. Very good, very good. The smile on Dad's face grew wider, and he was not surprised at all by this result. My son can even pass the difficult level dungeon by himself, and was promoted to level 14 before the college entrance examination, which is normal. He walked up to Lin Fei eagerly and shared the good news with his mother in the living room. My mother was very excited when she heard that her son had reached level 14. Now it is absolutely safe for my son to be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. Then he remembered something and said to Lin Fei, "Son, the steward of the city lord's mansion gave our family a lot of things the day before yesterday. That gold card alone contains 500,000 gold coins, as well as a lot of resources and equipment. I heard it's worth several million gold coins in total. I was frightened at the time and didn't dare to accept it. Then the steward of the city lord's mansion became anxious and told me to accept it no matter what. He also said that this was all a thank you gift from the city lord. What did you do to make the city lord thank you with so many things?" After hearing this, Lin Fei thought to himself that the city lord was very efficient in delivering the things so quickly. Seeing his parents looking at him with puzzled faces, he explained to the two of them, "I promised to team up with the city lord's daughter to take the college entrance examination, so the city lord gave me so many things. This was all agreed upon before, just accept it with confidence. But the city lord gave you too much, right? Those things were worth millions of gold coins in total. I would never be able to earn so much money in 10 lifetimes. My mother had no choice but to accept it, and she is still dizzy to this day." Lin Fei smiled and said, "Mom, don't worry, your son got this all by his own ability." Mom and Dad were completely relieved after hearing this. Mom pointed in the direction of the practice room and said to Lin Fei, "I asked them to put those things in the practice room." "Well, I'll go take a look." Lin Fei nodded and walked towards the practice room with some anticipation. Spiritual Power Bracelet, Spirit Sealing Ghost Claws, Flying Dragon Wings, Curse of Hundreds of Ghosts and Resentful Spirits, Life Collar. Not bad, not bad, everything is there, a lot of the same. In the practice room, Lin Fei was in a very good mood while counting the things on the shelves and praising them. Many of the items listed on the gift list were also given by the city lord. And most of these items can be used by yourself right now. It seems that the city lord put a lot of thought into preparing this gift list. A smile appeared on Lin Fei's face. If you equip all these items, your strength will be improved a lot. However, there is no rush to equip these things right now. First equip only the spiritual bracelet to increase your mana, and then summon the ghosts of the dead to synthesize it. It's not too late to equip these things after the undead ghosts are synthesized. Lin Fei was thinking as he took off the magic ring on his hand and put it aside. Then he picked up the emerald green bracelet from the shelf and put it on his wrist. Psychic bracelet. Level 9. Effect. Increase mana by 150 points after wearing it. Usage restrictions. Cannot be used with the same type of equipment at the same time. After equipping the spiritual power bracelet, my mana reaches 850 points, and I can summon 85 undead ghosts at one time. Lin Fei looked at his attribute panel and nodded with satisfaction. After being promoted to level 14, his 4-dimensional attributes have reached over 600 points. The most concerned mana value has reached 700 points. Coupled with the 150-point bonus from the spiritual power bracelet, the mana that Lin Fei can now control has reached an astonishing 850 points. Okay, now summon the undead ghosts and synthesize them. Closing the attribute panel, Lin Fei did not hesitate, exhausted all his mana, and summoned 85 undead ghosts in one breath. Then put all the undead ghosts into the backpack space and use unlimited synthesis talent to synthesize them. After the synthesis is completed, the power of the undead ghost has been increased from 980 to 1210. Synthesizing 85 undead ghosts only increased the power by 230 points? Although he had expected it, Lin Fei couldn't help but shook his head after seeing the result. As the number of undead ghosts synthesized increases, the increase becomes smaller and smaller. The white-silver level undead ghosts must be summoned as soon as possible to synthesize them. But this requires you to advance to level 20 before you can summon white-silver level undead ghosts and new undead troops. I am only at level 14 now, and it will take some time before I can advance to level 20. Maybe when the system is turned on, it can give me some surprises. Lin Fei thought so in his mind, and took out the mana recovery potion from the backpack space. When I conquered Secret Realm, I used several bottles of mana recovery potion. I will synthesize the rest on my way back to the city and upgrade them all to level 14. Now I have a total of 5 bottles of level 14 mana recovery potion, which is enough. After Lin Fei finished calculating, he used a bottle of level 14 mana recovery potion, and his mana was instantly restored to 800 points. After spending 800 points of mana, Lin Fei summoned 80 more undead ghosts to continue the synthesis. After synthesis, the power of the undead ghost is increased to 1410 points. Continue. Lin Fei used 2 bottles of level 14 mana recovery potions in succession, summoned 160 undead ghosts, and synthesized them again. Eventually, the power of the undead ghost reached 1800 power points. With 1800 points of strength, the strength of the undead ghost has reached level 18. Lin Fei looked at the 1800 points of power on the undead ghost attribute panel and couldn't help but smile, feeling very satisfied with it. On the way back, he had expected that the strength of the undead ghost would increase to level 17. But I didn't expect that I could now raise the strength of the undead ghost to level 18 in one go. It exceeded my expectations. It was really surprising. With level 18 strength and enhanced skills, there should be few opponents among the 100,000 candidates. Lin Fei was full of confidence and smacked his lips again and said, "Using 3 bottles of mana recovery potion in a row has reached the limit, so let's do this for now." He won't be able to use mana recovery potions for a while. So don't think about continuing to improve the strength of the undead ghost through synthesis in the near future. But that's okay too. He has other ways to continue to improve the combat power of the undead ghost. Lin Fei cast his eyes on the rack in the practice room. Most of the above items can be equipped by yourself and the undead ghost. After equipping it, I don't know how much the strength of myself and the ghosts of the undead can be improved. Lin Fei walked towards the item rack with an expectant look on his face. At the same time, at the gate of Riverside City, a luxury fleet of more than 20 hover cars has arrived outside Riverside City. The soldiers who were responsible for guarding the city gate couldn't help but secretly gasp when they saw this luxurious motorcade approaching. Who is this big shot coming to Riverside City? It's such a grand event. After receiving the pass, I saw the words, Donghai Province Qin Family, written clearly on it. The guard trembled in shock and almost dropped the token on the ground. He turned out to be a member of the Qin family, the first family in Donghai Province. The guards were too frightened to search and immediately opened the door to let people go. The city gates opened and the motorcade slowly entered Riverside City. Inside, an extended version of the suspended car in the middle. A middle-aged man with a mustache looked out the window, curled his lips disdainfully, and said respectfully to the young man in front of him, "Master, this Riverside City is just a small town, nothing special. What are you doing here? Don't underestimate this Riverside City." Chin Hao raised his eyelids, turned to look out the window, and said calmly, "Last year, there was a person who ranked 23rd in Donghai Province in the college entrance examination and was admitted to Longguo Vocational College, University. That's all. There are many examples of civilians from small towns admitted to Longguo Vocational University. But I didn't expect that a more powerful guy would appear in Riverside City this year. I'm just here for him." He casually handed the document at hand to the middle-aged man. After the file was opened, it was filled with Lin Fei's detailed information and even a photo of Lin Fei himself. The middle-aged manager with a mustache took the document from the young master. "I found that it turned out to be the detailed information of a new job transferee. He is the general manager of the Qin family's properties in several nearby cities. I am usually busy with various errands, and the news about such things has always been delayed. Now that I saw that the young master actually cared so much about a new job transferee, I couldn't help but start to take a closer look. Lord of the Undead, the only hidden profession? The novice dungeon trial, clearing the easy level dungeon in 6 hours, clearing the ordinary level dungeon in 8 hours, and clearing the difficult level dungeon in 10 hours? This little Riverside City actually has such an incredible person?" After reading Lin Fei's information, the middle-aged manager's face showed surprise and realization. He naturally knew what Lin Fei's grades on the document meant. It is almost certain that he will be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. No wonder the young master values him so much. Chin Hao took a sip of tea and said lightly, "This Lin Fei, I started paying attention to him when I first heard about him. Although he was born as a commoner, he was able to achieve such good results in the novice dungeon trial. This is already very impressive. He is still a lord-type professional. If he is given enough resources and equipment, his strength will probably be even stronger. If he can join my college entrance examination group, it will definitely improve the overall strength of the group to another level. So, I have long wanted to come over and invite him to team up with me for the college entrance examination. It's just that a few days ago, I was busy improving my strength and really couldn't spare the time. I didn't have time to come over to see him until today." The middle-aged manager nodded. Hearing what the young master said, Lin Fei was indeed a very good candidate for the team. Then he said to Chin Hao with a flattering look on his face, "The young master wants to invite him to form a team for the college entrance examination. Just send someone to pass the message. Why come in person? The college entrance examination will start tomorrow. Do you have time?" "Don't worry about this, you have enough time." Chin Hao smiled and said seriously, "And only by personally inviting me can I show my sincerity." The young master is still thoughtful. The middle-aged steward smiled and continued to flatter him. It's so honorable for the young master to come and invite him in person. This Lin Fei will definitely be grateful and agree to the young master's invitation immediately. "I hope so." Chin Hao smiled faintly. He was humble in words, but he was actually very confident in his heart. As the steward said, as the young master of the Qin family, the first family in Donghai province, being able to come and invite him in person already gave him enough face. How could he be shameless and reject him? So before coming, he had already ordered people to prepare a large amount of resources and equipment. As soon as Lin Fei agreed to form a team with him, he would give these resources and equipment to him to improve his strength. I believe that with the addition of Lin Fei, his team will be the strongest in the college entrance examination, and it will definitely be no problem to help him win the top spot in the college entrance examination. The young attendant who had been silent in the car took out 2 more documents, handed them to Chin Hao, and said, "Master, besides Lin Fei, there are 2 other people in Riverside City who are worthy of attention. One is Lu Zi, who is also a hidden professional skeleton lord. I think he can be considered as an alternative. If inviting Lin Fei fails, the young master can consider him. The other is Chen Zihan, the daughter of the city lord Chen Han. Although she only has a main combat profession, with Chen Han's help, she also cleared the difficult level dungeon and was promoted to level 10. Her strength should be able to reach level 12 before the college entrance examination. The young follower pointed to the two documents and briefly introduced them to Qin Hao. After hearing this, Qin Hao just glanced at the documents in his hand, then threw them aside without interest, and said lightly, "This Lu Zi, the hidden professional skeleton lord, is barely okay. But since Lin Fei is here, there is no need to consider him. As for that Chen Zihan," Qin Hao smiled contemptuously and continued, "It's just a main combat profession. If it weren't for the help of the city lord, I wouldn't be able to get on the stage. What I want to build is the strongest team, not rubbish. The only person who can catch my eye in this riverside city is Lin Fei. I don't need to consider anything else. His standards are very high, and everyone in the group, including himself, is a hidden professional. Only in this way can we ensure that the team is strong enough to help him win the top spot in the college entrance examination." As for those who didn't have hidden professions, he didn't even bother to look at them. "Yes." The young attendant agreed and silently put away the two documents on the table. Qin Hao looked at the middle-aged manager again and asked, "Has the person in charge of Riverside City received the notice? Ask him to lead the way. We will go directly to Lin Fei's house." The middle-aged manager immediately said seriously, "Our person in charge in Riverside City has been waiting for the young master at Hongsheng Hall for a long time. After we go to Hongshengtang to find him, we can go directly to Lin Fei's house." "Yes." Qin Hao nodded and looked out the window, looking forward to meeting Lin Fei next. Lin's practice room. Lin Fei walked to the item shelf and began to explore the functions of the items on it. True Spirit Gloves, level 9. When equipped, it increases strength by 200 points and increases attack speed by 10%. Golden Ring Stone Necklace, level 10. When equipped, it increases life by 300 points and restores 1 health points every second. Nebula Tracing Shoes. Level 10. After equipped, it increases agility by 300 points and reduces the enemy's hit rate by 20%. These 3 items are suitable for me to equip myself with. Lin Fei found 3 items from the item shelf that were suitable for equipping himself. Then take them out of the item rack and equip them all on yourself. After completing the equipment, Lin Fei opened the personal attribute panel and started investigating. Name: Lin Fei. Occupation: Undead Lord, only. Level: 14, 0.15%. Life: 630 plus 300. Strength: 700 plus 200. Agility: 620 plus 300. Mana: 0.700 plus 150. Equipment: Psychic Bracelet, True Spirit Gloves, Golden Ring Stone Necklace, Nebula Mysterious Shoes. Backpack Space: 257 300ths. Army: Undead Ghost. As the level increases, more arms can be unlocked. Skills: Normal Shield, Teleportation, Bone Spurs, Summoning Undead Ghosts. Ordinary Shield. Consumes 100 mana points, offsets 40% of the enemy's damage, lasts for 12 minutes, and can be used on multiple professionals at the same time. Teleportation. Consume 120 mana points to instantly move 5 kilometers in the specified direction. Bone Spurs. Consumes 200 mana points to summon bone spurs from the ground to attack the enemy, causing physical damage to the target. Summon the Undead Ghost. Spend 10 mana points to summon an undead ghost. Talent: Infinite Synthesis. Synthesize any number and type of items and summons to obtain items with corresponding random abilities and corresponding random levels. Spiritual Power Bracelet. Level 9, increases mana by 150 points after wearing it, cannot be used with the same type of equipment at the same time. True Spirit Gloves. Level 9. When equipped, it increases strength by 200 points and increases attack speed by 10%. Golden Ring Stone Necklace. Level 10, after equipped, it increases life by 300 points and restores 1 health points every second. Nebula Lost Tracking Shoes. Level 10. When equipped, it can increase agility by 300 points and reduce the enemy's hit rate by 20%. After equipping the Spiritual Power Bracelet, my mana reached 850 points. After equipping the True Spirit Gloves, my strength reached 900 points. After equipping the Golden Ring Stone Necklace, my life reached 930 points. After equipping Nebula Lost tracking shoes, my agility reached 920 points. Lin Fei nodded with satisfaction after reading the attribute panel. After equipping these items, his 4-dimensional attributes are increased to level 15. In other words, even if the undead ghost does not take action and only relies on his own strength, he at level 14 can still deal with level 15 monsters. Continue to equip the undead ghost to increase its strength. Lin Fei looked at the item rack. The 5 items above, the soul-sealing ghost claw, the curse of 100 ghosts and resentful spirits, the flying dragon wings, the god-chasing arm armor and the life collar, are all suitable for equipping the ghosts of the undead. Spirit-sealing ghost claw, level 10, weight 2.3 kg. After equipped, it increases strength by 300 points, increases attack speed by 10%, and adds 6% damage when attacking. The curse of 100 ghosts and wraiths, level 10, increases strength by 300 points when equipped, and adds 25% curse damage when attacking. Flying dragon wings, level 9, weight 1.9 kg. After equipped, it increases agility by 200 points, increases attack speed by 15%, and can teleport 100 meters in the specified direction. The cooling time is 3 hours. God Chaser Arm Armor, level 9. When equipped, it can offset 30% of the damage from enemies below level 20. Life Collar, level 9, increases life by 300 points after equipping it. They are all good equipment. If they are all equipped on the undead ghost, I don't know how much its strength can be improved. Lin Fei said as he waved his hand to summon the ghosts of the dead to his side. First take off the ghost phantom belt, sky-breaking great sword and spirit-sealing cross on it. Then equip the 5 items one by one to the undead ghost. Black Iron level undead ghost. Life, 1200 plus 300. Strength, 1470 plus 600. Agility, 1300 plus 200, mana, 1350. Equipment. Soul-sealing ghost claw, curse of 100 ghosts and resentful spirits, flying dragon wings, god-chasing arm armor, life collar. Skills. Strengthening, ghost fire, strengthen. Consume 300 mana points to double the attack power for 1 minute. Cooling time is 2 hours. Ghost fire. After turning it on, it consumes 1 mana point every 5 seconds and generates a large number of ghost flames within 100 meters of the undead ghost. Each ray can cause 10 points of damage to the enemy. Spirit-sealing ghost claw. Level 10 item. When equipped, it increases strength by 300 points, increases attack speed by 10%, and adds 6% damage when attacking. Curse of 100 ghosts and wraiths. Level 10 item. After equipped, it increases strength by 300 points, and adds 25% curse damage when attacking. Dragon Wing. Level 9 item. After equipped, it increases agility by 200 points, increases attack speed by 15%, and can teleport 100 meters in the specified direction, with a cooling time of 3 hours. God Chaser Gauntlet. Level 9 item. When equipped, it can offset 30% of the damage from enemies below level 20. Life Collar. Level 9 item, increases life by 300 points after equipped. 2070 points of power. Lin Fei saw that the power of the undead ghost had reached 2070 points on the attribute panel, and nodded with great satisfaction. A strength of over 2000 points is considered a high level at level 18. With this kind of strength, he can compete for the top spot in the college entrance examination. His eyes continued to move down, stopping at the skill bar of the attribute panel, and saw that there was a new skill in it, Ghost Fire. After the strength of the undead ghost increases, will it awaken new skills? Lin Fei looked at the detailed introduction of Ghost Fire. Ghost Fire. After turning it on, it consumes 1 mana point every 5 seconds and generates a large number of ghost flames within 100 meters of the undead ghost. Each ray can cause 10 points of damage to the enemy. A good skill. Lin Fei nodded after thinking. It is suitable for long-term battles, and the greater the number of monsters, the greater the damage caused. Lin Fei closed the attribute panel with a satisfied look on his face and put the undead ghost into the backpack space. Lin Fei let out a long sigh of relief. He has already prepared everything that should be prepared, and now he is waiting for the college entrance examination to begin. Expectation appeared on Lin Fei's face. I am already level 14. If nothing unexpected happens, he will definitely be promoted to level 15 in the college entrance examination and the system will be officially activated. I don't know what good things I can get from the system after it is turned on. Lin Fei was full of expectations and couldn't wait for the college entrance examination to start soon. Dong, dong, there was an ethereal sound in the practice room. This is a special beep equipped in the practice room, which can wake up professionals from their practice without affecting their practice. Once this sound sounds, it means that someone is looking for you outside the door. What's going on? Is it Mom? Lin Fei walked quickly to the door with doubts. Opening the door, my mother was standing outside the door. Mom, is there something urgent? Lin Fei asked doubtfully. If there was no emergency, his mother would not come to the practice room to call him. The mother nodded, with some doubts on her face, and said to her son, "We have a few guests coming to our house, saying they came specially to see you." What kind of guest? Lin Fei walked out of the practice room and asked as he walked. They claim to be from the Qin family of Donghai province, but I don't know if they are. The mother said to her son in detail. However, the chief steward of Hongshengtang is with them, and he also treats these people. People are very respectful. That should be someone from the Qin family in Donghai province. Lin Fei had some concerns in his mind. The Qin family is the first family in Donghai province. No one in the entire Donghai province doesn't know about them, and Lin Fei has heard about them a lot. I just don't know why they came to me. I don't seem to have much contact with them, right? With doubts, Lin Fei and his mother came to the living room together. Then I saw an impressive young man sitting on the sofa talking to his father, with a young attendant and two middle-aged stewards standing behind him. Son, you are here. This is Master Qin who is looking for you. When the father saw his son coming, he stood up quickly and handed the pressure to his son. Talking to this young Master Qin was like facing a superior person, which made him very stressed and uncomfortable. After finally holding on until his son came over, he was finally relieved. Lin Fei nodded to his father, then looked at Qin Hao, and said doubtfully, "I am Lin Fei, who are you?" Qin Kai stood up, with a smile on his face, and said in a calm tone, "Let me introduce myself, Qin family Qin Hao, also a new job transfer this year, hidden professional dragon master." After saying that, his eyes stayed on Lin Fei. He had already judged from his aura that Lin Fei's current level was actually level 14, and he was even more satisfied with Lin Fei. Very good, as expected of the person I like. But Lin Fei was still a little confused after hearing this. The college entrance examination is about to start tomorrow. If you don't prepare for the college entrance examination quickly, why are you coming to see me? So he nodded and continued to ask, "Is there anything you want to do?" Qin Hao had a smile on his face and said confidently, "I came here from Donghai City to invite you to join my college entrance examination group." Lin Fei was stunned for a moment, never expecting that the other party's purpose was this. The college entrance examination starts tomorrow. Are you coming to me to form a team today? Are you kidding me? Lin Fei was speechless and refused without hesitation. "Sorry, I have already formed a team, you should find someone else." Don't refuse in a hurry. Qin Hao was not surprised that Lin Fei would refuse. The smile on his face did not diminish and he continued. "Everyone in my team is a hidden professional. They are absolutely among all the college entrance examination groups. Is the strongest. If you can join my group, I can guarantee that you will get into at least the top 10 in the college entrance examination, and even the top 5 is not without a chance." After saying that, Qin Hao was full of confidence and looked at Lin Fei with determination. I believe no one can refuse such an attractive offer. But Lin Fei seemed careless after listening. My goal is to be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. There seems to be little difference between ranking in the top 10 and ranking in the top 50. What's more, if I were willing, I could compete for the first place on my own, let alone the top 10, so I wouldn't need you. So, Lin Fei shook his head nonchalantly and said to Qin Hao, "I have agreed to form a team with someone else, you should find someone else." Qin Hao was stunned when he heard this. Never did he expect that Lin Fei would simply reject such a good offer. Is his brain broken? Suppressing the confusion in his heart, Qin Hao emphasized again. Teaming up with me will at least guarantee that you will enter the top 10. This is a rare opportunity. Are you sure you want to refuse? Lin Fei still didn't care, shrugged, and said nonchalantly, I just need to be in the top 50 and get admitted to Longguo Vocational University. As for whether my scores are high or low, it doesn't really matter. Both the 50th and first-ranked students can enter Longguo Vocational University. There is no benefit to being ranked high. There is no need to fight tooth and nail to get a higher ranking, as long as you make sure to be in the top 50. When Qin Hao heard Lin Fei's words, a flash of realization flashed across his face, and the dissatisfaction in his heart disappeared. He smiled lightly and said, there are some things you may not know. The points we earn in the college entrance examination will be converted into student points according to a proportion after entering Longguo Vocational University. The higher the points you get in the college entrance examination, the more student points you get, and student points are very important at Longguo Vocational University, so I thought about forming a Zhujiang team to hit a higher level and get more points. Is there such a thing? Lin Fei was a little surprised. He had never heard anyone talk about this matter. He only knew that there were some rewards for being admitted to Longguo Vocational University, but he had never heard of student points. If what Qin Hao said is true, then you have to be more serious in the college entrance examination. You must use all your strength to kill monsters, hit higher levels, and get more points. Seeing the look of surprise on Lin Fei's face, Qin Hao smiled with satisfaction and continued. The points for the college entrance examination are composed of two parts. The first part is the monster points obtained by killing monsters, and the second part is the reward for entering a higher level, order integral. To put it simply, the more monsters you kill, the higher the level you enter, and the more points you get. The teams from previous years could only reach the 28th floor in the 33rd layer world. And my goal in forming the strongest team this time is to hit the 30th floor, or even higher. If you join my team, you will definitely get more points than if you join other teams. Lin Fei was thoughtful after listening. Qin Hao struck while the iron was hot and continued. I know that you are a lord profession and need a lot of resources to equip summons. As for me, the Qin family, I am the first family in Donghai province. What I lack most is resources and equipment. As long as you are willing to join my team, I can use a lot of resources to equip your summons to make you stronger and help you get more points in the college entrance examination. He has already mentioned this, so he won't refuse, right? Qin Hao was so confident that even the followers and stewards behind him felt that Lin Fei was definitely taking advantage of him by teaming up with the young master, and there was no reason to refuse. But after hearing this, Lin Fei still didn't feel cold about it. With infinite synthetic talent around, he simply didn't care about Qin Hao's resources. If he wants to get more points, he can rely on his own strength, and there is no need to team up with Qin Hao. Moreover, he had promised Xu Wei and Liang Jia to form a team together. How could he go back on his words just because of Qin Hao? What I was thinking about just now was actually thinking about how to reject Qin Hao tactfully. After thinking for a while, Lin Fei slowly said, I have promised the city lord that I will form a team with Chen Zihan to take the college entrance examination. I have accepted the gift, but I really can't agree to it. I'm sorry, you should find someone else. When Qin Hao heard this, the smile on his face suddenly froze. I had tried to persuade him again and even offered such generous terms, but he didn't even give me any face. Don't you know who I am? Who gave you the courage to refuse me? Qin Hao was unhappy in his heart, but he still kept a smile on his face, but he looked a little reluctant. He said to Lin Fei for the last time, I will go to Chen Han and tell him, as long as you agree to form a team with me, nothing will be a problem. Lin Fei shook his head and insisted, be true to your word. Since I promised to form a team with others, I can't go back on it. So you'd better invite others to form a team. When Qin Hao heard this, he took a deep breath, knowing that Lin Fei might not be able to join his team. The three people behind them saw Lin Fei rejecting their young master again and again, feeling shameless and about to get angry, but he raised his hand to stop them. Qin Hao's signature smile appeared on his face again, and he couldn't tell that he was unhappy at all. He nodded coolly and said, in this case, I won't force it. The three people behind him were startled. Did the young master give up just like that? I'm really sorry for making you travel in vain. Lin Fei smiled and said politely. It doesn't matter. Qin Hao had a gentle look on his face. He didn't feel angry after being rejected at all. He said very politely, "Although I wasn't invited. You form a team, but it would be nice to meet up and make friends." "Thank you, thank you." Lin Fei replied humbly. Qin Hao said goodbye to Lin Fei again. "In that case, I won't bother you anymore. I wish you good results in the exam tomorrow." After saying that, he left the Lin family with his 3 confused subordinates. Lin Fei and his parents took them all the way to the door. When they saw them getting in the car and leaving, they closed the door and returned to the living room. As my mother walked, she said, "Young Master Qin is quite elegant. His son refused me again and made him go on a wasted trip, but he didn't get angry at all." Dad also said somewhat happily, "It's good that we didn't offend anyone. Our family can't afford to offend the first family in Donghai province." Lin Fei was non-committal about what his parents said. Qin Hao did seem very personable and was not angry at all after being rejected. But he always felt something was wrong, but it doesn't matter, it's not important. I learned from Qin Hao that the points obtained in the college entrance examination will be converted into student points at Longguo Vocational University. Then I have to use all my strength to get more points in the college entrance examination tomorrow. With this in mind, Lin Fei and his parents walked back to the living room. On the other side, Qin family racing team. As soon as Qin Hao got in the car, the gentle smile on his face immediately disappeared and was replaced by a gloomy look. I personally invited him and made so many conditions, but in the end he was rejected. It was really a shame and a shame. Do you think you are great because you are the only hidden profession? If I kill you, it will be as easy as killing an ant. Qin Hao picked up the wine bottle, poured a full glass of blood-red spirit wine, then drank it all in one gulp and threw the glass to the ground. Boom! A crisp sound echoed in the car, and pieces of the wine glass shattered everywhere. Qin Hao turned a blind eye and sat in his seat with a gloomy face without saying a word, not knowing what he was thinking. When the chief steward around him saw that the young master was so angry, he immediately said, "Master, do you want someone to teach this cowardly boy a lesson?" With the power of the Qin family in Donghai province, it is easy to recruit a commoner boy. Qin Hao was silent for a while, shook his head and said, "You don't have to worry about this matter, I have my own arrangements. I'll show him how stupid he was to refuse me." When he said this, a trace of cruelty flashed in Qin Hao's eyes. The 2 stewards shivered involuntarily when they saw it. They had already anticipated how tragic this Lin Fei's fate would be. But he deserved it. Who dared to reject the young master because he had the heart and courage of a leopard? It was really shameless. The young follower who had been silent all this time spoke again. "Master, if Lin Fei doesn't join your team, then the team will still be short of one person, you see. Go to Lu Zi's house," Qin Hao said directly without thinking. "You, Lin Fei, are not the only lord-type professional in Donghai province. If you don't agree, then I will give this opportunity to others. When you see Lu Zi follow me to the sky, you will know what a golden opportunity you have missed. I look forward to the day when you regret it so much." A sneer flashed across Qin Hao's face, as if he had seen Lin Fei's regretful look. The young follower beside him agreed, and then asked the head shopkeeper of Hongshengtang to lead the way to Lu's house in Riverside City. At this time, the atmosphere in the Lu family's living room was extremely serious. Confused, Father Lu was sitting in the main seat, his face turned red, and he scolded Lu Zi, who was standing in the hall. "Before entering the secret realm, Principal Wang and I gave you numerous instructions, asking you to have a good relationship with Lin Fei and preferably join his college entrance examination group. But what about you? When someone came to rescue you, you actually ran away by yourself. As a result, everyone else's strength has greatly increased following Lin Fei, and you are the only one who is still stuck at level 9. If you hadn't run away and followed Lin Fei to conquer the secret realm, would you have been worse than Xu Jing? Could you have been worse than Xu Wei, the main combat professional? Not only have I not improved in strength now, but I have also left a bad impression on others, and even if word spread, I am embarrassed to be a human being. Do you think you are stupid or not?" Lu Zi hung his head and stood speechless in the hall. He also regretted it terribly, but I was too scared at the time. How could I not run away when I had the chance? What if I really died inside? As a result, he asked for trouble and ended up like this. The steward of the Lu family on the side couldn't bear to see the young master being scolded like this, and said to Lu's father, "Actually, what the young master did was right. After all, it was too dangerous at that time. If he didn't leave quickly, he might really die there. It's just that no one expected that Lin Fei's strength would be so strong, which is why the young master miscalculated." Father Lu didn't understand this. But seeing his son miss such a good opportunity and end up like this because of his stupid behavior, he was furious. The current situation is really terrible. The spot to team up with Lin Fei was taken away by Xu Jing. My son was only promoted to level 9 before taking the college entrance examination. Even the resources and equipment that the family spent a lot of money and material resources to acquire were buried in the secret realm by this prodigal son. The college entrance examination will start tomorrow. What will my son do then? Father Lu felt powerless just thinking about it. After waiting for a while, he looked down at Principal Wang, who was silent, and asked for advice. "Principal Wang, what do you think Lu Zi should do next?" Alas, Principal Wang sighed. Lu Zi was so unsatisfied that he had nothing to do. He originally had high expectations for Lu Zi, but now it seems that his expectations have been completely disappointed. Principal Wang shook his head secretly and said to Lu's father, "Now that the matter has come to this, we can only find a few more powerful combat professionals from number 1 middle school to form a team with Lu Zi for the college entrance examination. If you're lucky, it won't be a problem for Lu Zi to get admitted to a top 50 school." Xu Jing has already formed a team with Lin Fei, and Principal Wang can only find some main combat professionals to team up with Lu Zi. When Lu Zi heard this, he wanted to vomit blood every minute. His original goal was Longguo Vocational University. Now not only can I not get into Longguo Vocational University, I even have no hope of getting into the top 10 schools. I can only strive for the top 50 schools. The gap was so big that it was hard for him to accept it for a while. Father Lu also looked sad and had nothing to say to his unfulfilled son. A good deck of cards was beaten to pieces by him. A dignified hidden professional can't even get into the top 10 schools. After the college entrance examination results come out, my son may become a joke in Riverside City. Father Lu's head hurts when he thinks of this, and he doesn't know how to go out in the future. The living room of the Lu family was filled with gloom and gloom. "Master, some people claiming to be from the Qin family came outside and said they wanted to see you and the young master." A steward hurried into the living room and panted to the Master Lu. The head of the Lu family frowned when he heard this and asked doubtfully, "People from the Qin family? Are you sure? The Qin family is the largest family in Donghai province. How come someone from the Qin family comes to visit me?" The steward held his waist, gasped twice, and nodded heavily. It looks like the posture is real. Their convoy has a total of more than a dozen hover vehicles, and the head shopkeeper of Hongshengtang is following them respectfully. I don't dare to neglect. I have already asked them to wait in the concierge. After hearing this, the head of the Lu family was shocked. He immediately stood up from his seat and said hurriedly, "Please come quickly." "No, I will go and invite you personally." Hongshengtang is a property of the Qin family. If the head shopkeeper of Hongshengtang can personally lead the way, he must be a member of the Qin family. The head of the Lu family did not dare to neglect, and hurriedly walked out of the living room and walked towards the door. Only when you reach their level can you truly understand the horror of the Qin family. Although our family is known as the first family in Riverside City, compared with the Qin family, it is like an ant compared to an elephant. If the Qin family wants to crush themselves to death, it is definitely as easy as crushing an ant to death. You must not offend them. The head of the Lu family was eager to greet Qin Hao and others. Lu Zi and Principal Wang also followed curiously. Inside the concierge, Qin Hao looked gentle and calm, drinking tea and waiting unhurriedly. In fact, I was extremely impatient. Having just been rejected by Lin Fei, he was in a bad mood. Now that he came to Lu's house, he actually had to wait in the concierge for a call, which made him even more unhappy. If the Lu family dares to neglect him next, he will definitely use the Lu family as a punching bag to vent his anger. Not long after, the head of the Lu family rushed over with a group of people. When he first saw the noble young man, he was extremely convinced that this person was from the Qin family, and I'm afraid his status is not low, and the nobility in him is something that not everyone can possess. The head of the Liu family showed great respect to Qin Hao, nodded and bowed, and said, "This distinguished guest is coming to our door. I am sorry for the delay in greeting him. Please, distinguished guests, please move to the living room. If you have any questions, let's talk there." Seeing that the head of the Liu family is so sensible, Qin Hao's mood improved a little, and he pretended to be humble and polite. "Master Liu, you are so polite. I took the liberty of disturbing you." Then, at the invitation of the head of the Liu family, he left the concierge and walked to the Liu family's living room. In the living room, the head of the Liu family politely asked Qin Hao to sit at the top. But Qin Hao looked humble and firmly refused. After being polite, the head of the Liu family asked Qin Hao to sit in the upper seat. But he didn't dare to sit on the main seat, but sat opposite Qin Hao. After everyone was seated, before the head of the Liu family could ask questions, the young follower behind Qin Hao spoke first. "This is Qin Hao, the fourth son of our Qin family. This time he came specifically to visit the Liu family." The head of the Liu family looked flattered when he heard that he was actually the young master of the Qin family, and that he came to visit his family specifically. He then heard the young man who was following him continue, "Our young master is also a new job transfer this year and will take part in the college entrance examination tomorrow. After I heard that Liu Zi was a hidden professional, I came here specially to invite him to join my team and form a team together to take the college entrance examination. Young master, he is also a hidden professional. The purpose of inviting Liu Zi is to form the strongest college entrance examination group and ensure that everyone in the group is a hidden professional. If Liu Zi agrees to team up with our young master, the young master can guarantee that he will rank at least among the top 10 in the college entrance examination. Liu Zi is not Lin Fei. It would be a great honor for Qin Hao to come in person. He will not send invitations in person, so all the words will be said by the young followers." But this already made the Liu family head flattered, and he even asked in disbelief, "Is this true?" "Of course it's true." The young follower glanced at the Liu family master and replied without any doubt, "Our young master's team already has 4 hidden professions, and there is still one missing, so I came here to invite Liu Zi." Qin Hao nodded calmly and said, "That's right. That's great." The head of the Liu family agreed without even thinking about it. Quanzi can form a team with Master Qin to take the college entrance examination. It's really a blessing from his previous life. He was worried about how Liu Zi would cope with the upcoming college entrance examination. Now that I have the opportunity to team up with Master Qin for the college entrance examination, of course I must not miss it. And judging from what they said, Master Qin's team is very strong, and every one of them is a hidden professional. If his son can join, he can at least enter the top 10. So Longguo Vocational University is still not stable? The head of the Liu family couldn't hold back the joy in his heart, and his eyebrows were beaming with excitement. Even Principal Wang, who was sitting beside him, also became excited. Originally, he thought that his expectations for Liu Zi had been disappointed. Unexpectedly, in a twist of events, Liu Zi would have the opportunity to team up with the Qin family master to take the college entrance examination. It is really great. He had already anticipated how much of a sensation Liu Zi would cause in Riverside City after the college entrance examination results came out. The top 10 has never appeared in the entire history of Riverside City. If Liu Zi can do it, it will definitely go down in history and steadily suppress Lin Fei's limelight. The first center can also have a chance to turn around and will not be surpassed by the second center again. The joy in Principal Wang's heart cannot be described in words. Qin Hao, who was sitting opposite, saw that the head of the Liu family agreed to his invitation without hesitation and was much better than Lin Fei. He nodded with satisfaction and said, "Since the head of the Liu family has agreed, let's call Liu Zi, come on. I will take him to Donghai City now. Tomorrow he will enter the 33rd layer from the entrance of Donghai City to take the college entrance examination." Upon hearing this, the head of the Liu family quickly pointed to Liu Zi beside him and said, "This is the dog Liu Zi." Qin Hao looked at Liu Zi and couldn't help but be stunned, very surprised. He noticed this person when he was in the concierge. This man looked very similar to Liu Zi in the information, but his level was only level 9. He thought he was Liu Zi's brother or something, so he didn't take it to heart. Now I heard that the head of the Liu family said that this person was exactly the Liu Zi he was looking for, and he couldn't help but be very surprised. After carefully looking Lu Zi up and down and confirming that he was really only level 9, he asked, "Aren't you a hidden professional? Why are you only level 9? Aren't you a hidden professional? Why are you only level 9? Qin Hao looked at Lu Zi with a surprised look on his face. The information clearly stated that he was already level 8 when he finished the novice copy trial. Later, he went to conquer Secret Realm. How come he has not been promoted to level 9 until now? Is it so rubbish? If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Qin Hao wouldn't have believed there were such low-level hidden professionals. Generally speaking, hidden professionals can be promoted to level 11 no matter how bad they are before the college entrance examination. The more powerful ones, level 12 and level 13, are both a piece of cake. Just like Lin Fei, he is already level 14 now, and this Lu Zi is actually only level 9, not even as good as a rare professional, and only about the same as some more powerful main combat professionals. Isn't this too wasteful? They are both lord-type professions. Why is there such a big gap between Lu Zi and Lin Fei? Qin Hao looked at Lu Zi in disbelief. Lu Zi stood there, embarrassed and wanting to find a hole to crawl into. After hemming and hawing for a long time, I had no intention of telling the reason for my low level. It was Lu's father who came to the rescue and said, Quanzi had some accidents when he was conquering Secret Realm a few days ago, so he was only promoted to level 9, which disappointed Master Qin. Qin Hao nodded after hearing this and was not interested in finding out what accident Lu Zi encountered. I just lowered my head and thought about whether to include level 9 Lu Zi into my team. It's not impossible if someone is replaced now, but he still hopes to recruit a lord professional to join his team. Qin Hao sat in his seat and hesitated for a long time. He saw that the Lu family masters and others were very nervous, and their heartbeats could not help but speed up a little. He was afraid that Qin Hao would give up on Lu Zi because he thought Lu Zi was too low in rank. After Qin Hao considered it, he looked at Lu Zi and said, "Show me your skeleton warrior." Lu Zi nodded and silently released several skeleton warriors from the backpack space. These skeleton warriors are only equipped with a few ordinary weapons, and their strength is roughly between level 6 and level 7. Qin Hao looked at it for a few times and saw that there was no problem, so he relaxed and said, "Level 9 is level 9. Come with me to Donghai City later. When you get back, I will have people prepare resources and equipment for you to improve your strength." This is the only good thing about lord-type professions. As long as the summoned object is fine, it doesn't matter if the level of the professional is lower. It was for this reason that Qin Hao agreed to Lu Zi joining his team. It doesn't matter if his strength is a little lower now. When we go back to Donghai City and change the resources and equipment for him, we can see his strength. Seeing that Qin Hao agreed to take Lu Zi in, the head of the Lu family was finally relieved. Being able to team up with Master Qin to take the college entrance examination means that my son is definitely safe for the college entrance examination. Thinking of Qin Hao's words about giving resources and equipment to his son, his heart couldn't help but feel hot. The Qin family is the #1 family in Donghai province, and the resources and equipment they provide are many times better than those prepared by their own family. This is really a blessing. The head of the Lu family was overjoyed, and Lu Zi was equally excited. Qin Hao looked at the people who were so excited that they couldn't contain themselves, and couldn't help but shook his head secretly. No future. Are you so confused by just this little condition? I had all the nice things to say about Lin Fei, but he even rejected me. Comparing this, the gap between the two is really not small. Qin Hao was heartbroken and angry, secretly resenting Lin Fei for rejecting him, otherwise there would be no need for him to find this rubbish Lu Zi. When he thought of this, he couldn't restrain the anger in his heart. When I wait for the college entrance examination tomorrow, I must make him look good. Let him know how stupid he was to reject me, still want to be in the top 50 and be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. Go ahead and dream. I want you to know how tragic the consequences will be if you offend me. Qin Hao's eyes flashed with cruelty, and he had already thought about how to deal with Lin Fei tomorrow. When Principal Wang next to him saw that Lu Zi finally joined Qin Hao's team, he exhaled heavily and couldn't help bragging. Master Qin really has a good eye. Lu Zi is a lord-type profession. As long as he has enough resources and equipment, his strength can be improved very much. What Master Qin lacks the most is resources and equipment. Lu Zi is definitely your best team candidate. Qin Hao smiled lightly when he heard this and said nothing. But the young followers behind him saw that these people were already a little distracted, so they couldn't help but suppress them. Lu Zi is not the most suitable candidate. We just went to see Lin Fei first, but Lin Fei declined politely. Our young master didn't force him, so Lu Zi came to see him again. As soon as these words came out, the living room suddenly became quiet. Principal Wang looked embarrassed. He just boasted a few words, but he didn't expect to be directly criticized back. Even more embarrassed than him was the head of the Lu family. Only then did he realize that his son was just his spare tire. It was because Lin Fei, the official, didn't agree, so his son, the spare tire, could become a permanent member. Fortunately, I was as happy as a fool just now. The head of the Lu family looked embarrassed and didn't know what to say. When the young follower saw that it was working, he said calmly, "Of course, judging from the results, Lu Zi is stronger than Lin Fei." For Lin Fei to refuse such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to team up with the young master to take the college entrance examination, it is enough to prove his stupidity. But Lu Zi was able to seize this opportunity and soar into the sky, which also proves that he is stronger than Lin Fei. Yes, yes. The Lu family leaders were no longer embarrassed and echoed with smiles. Indeed, as the young man who followed him said, Lin Fei was so stupid that he couldn't seize such a good opportunity. He deserved the opportunity that fell on Lu Zi and made him soar in the college entrance examination. When the college entrance examination results come out, Lin Fei will definitely regret it when he sees that Lu Zi's grades are much higher than his. The head of the Lu family and the others secretly rejoiced in their hearts. Seeing that his goal had been achieved, Qin Hao stood up to leave and took Lu Zi with him. After putting Qin Hao into the car and watching the motorcade leave, the head of the Lu family and Principal Wang stood at the door and smiled at each other, both seeing indescribable excitement in each other's eyes. Lu Zi is really making a lot of money by teaming up with Qin Hao this time. He will definitely have no problem defeating Lin Fei in the college entrance examination. The Qin family's motorcade drove towards the city gate. Lu Zi was sitting in Qin Hao's extended version of the suspension car. It was the first time he saw such a luxurious suspension car. He felt like a countryman entering the city. He sat carefully in the car and looked around secretly, his eyes full of curiosity. Qin Hao looked at him with a trace of disdain in his eyes, but on the surface he pretended to be approachable and said in a very gentle tone, "I have ordered people to prepare the equipment you need, and it will be delivered to you before tomorrow." "Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Qin." Lu Zi stood up and thanked him in flattery, but he accidentally knocked his head on the roof of the car. Qin Hao waved his hand for him to sit down and continued, "This college entrance examination, I will ensure that you get into the top 10, but at the same time you must go all out to help me win the top spot in the college entrance examination. Don't worry, Mr. Qin, I will definitely assist you with all my strength," Lu Zi said solemnly and vowed. Qin Hao smiled and nodded, very satisfied with Lu Zi's respect for him. Then Lu Zi asked cautiously, "By the way, Mr. Qin, what's going on with the other people in our group?" Now that he has joined the group, he naturally cares about his teammates. Qin Hao had a faint smile on his face and said, "I am a hidden professional dragon master, and my level has been promoted to level 17. As for the others, they are all hidden professionals. I will give you a detailed introduction after you see them." Lu Zi nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. Suddenly his eyes lit up, as if he remembered something, and asked again, "Since Mr. Qin's profession is a dragon master, he must have a contracted dragon beast, right?" "Of course." Qin Hao nodded. He got the dragon contract beast when he changed jobs. Lu Zi continued to ask, "Then I wonder if the scroll of dragon power is of any use to Mr. Qin? Do you have a scroll of dragon power?" Qin Hao narrowed his eyes and looked at Lu Zi. He is a dragon master, owns a dragon contracted beast, and is naturally no stranger to dragon power scrolls. He heard that this kind of scroll could add an ability to the dragon contracted beast, so after he changed his profession to become a dragon master, he sent people to look for it. It's just that the scroll of dragon power is so rare that even if the Qin family is the first family in Donghai province, it is difficult to find it in just 7 days. He deeply regretted this. Unexpectedly, Lu Zi would now take the initiative to mention the Dragon Power Scroll to him. He must know something. Qin Hao kept staring at Lu Zi, making Lu Zi feel a little embarrassed. He quickly said, "I don't have it, but I know someone who has it." "Who?" Qin Hao's eyes lit up and his tone rose by 3 points. "Lin Fei," Lu Zi said with determination. "I went with him to conquer Secret Realm a few days ago. In Secret Realm, he killed the Secret Realm boss and obtained the Black Iron level dropped from the Secret Realm boss. Scroll of Dragon Power. Is it true?" Qin Hao looked at Lu Zi and confirmed the authenticity of the news again. "If you dare to lie to me, you will end badly." "It's absolutely true." Lu Zi shivered in fright, shrank his head, and said hurriedly, "Not only do I know about this, but Chen Zihan and several others who worked with me to conquer Secret Realm also know about it." "Then it must be true." Qin Hao confirmed that Lin Fei had the Scroll of Dragon Power in his hand, and he couldn't help but feel very good. His trip to Riverside City was really not in vain, and he actually got something unexpected. "The Black Iron level Dragon Power Scroll is just right for me to use now. If he can get it, Xiaoyi will be able to awaken a new ability, and his strength will be greatly improved. He will be more confident of winning the top spot in the college entrance examination." Thinking of this, Qin Hao looked at Lu Zi with a half smile, and said in a playful tone, "Do you and Lin Fei have any issues?" Hearing this, Lu Zi was so frightened that his heart stopped for a moment. He really wanted to use Qin Hao's hand to deal with Lin Fei. But he didn't expect that Qin Hao would see through his purpose at a glance. "It seems that I acted too deliberately just now. If I had known earlier, I would have said it later." Lu Zi secretly regretted it and looked at Qin Hao tremblingly, not daring to say a word. Qin Hao snorted coldly when he saw Lu Zi was so frightened. "How dare you use yourself as a gunman? I really don't know what to say." But he just wanted to scare Lu Zi and make him be honest and obedient. He didn't really want to do anything to him. After all, tomorrow's college entrance examination will rely on him to help him compete for the top spot in the college entrance examination. What's more, even without Lu Zi to stir up trouble, he still planned to deal with Lin Fei. So Qin Hao did not continue to argue with Lu Zi, and instead thought about how to get the Scroll of Dragon Power in Lin Fei's hand. The young followers around him also knew the importance of the Dragon Power Scroll to the young master, so they suggested to Qin Hao, "Master, we haven't left Riverside City yet. Do you want me to go and get the Dragon Power Scroll?" Qin Hao was very moved when he heard this, but after thinking about it, "I forgot about it," shook my head and said, "The college entrance examination is tomorrow. This is the real big deal. I don't want any accidents to happen before the college entrance examination, so I can't create extraneous matters at this time." "Then this Scroll of Dragon Power?" asked the young follower. "I will take it from Lin Fei during the college entrance examination," Qin Hao said calmly with no expression on his face. If Lin Fei agreed to form a team with him, he might even use resources to compensate Lin Fei. But now that Lin Fei has rejected him, don't blame him for being rude and directly snatching the Scroll of Dragon Power. Seeing that the young master was confident, the young man who followed him nodded and said nothing. Lu Zi on the side saw that Qin Hao had let him go and wanted to take action against Lin Fei. He couldn't help but feel secretly excited and reminded in a low voice, "By the way, Master Qin, Lin Fei is now level 14, and his undead ghosts can kill level 15 alone. The Secret Realm boss's strength cannot be underestimated. Level 15. Haha." Qin Hao smiled disdainfully and said lightly, "I'm already at level 17. Would I care about him? What's more, my Xiaoyi is a contracted dragon beast, who is stronger than those undead ghosts. How many times? As long as I meet Lin Fei during the college entrance examination, I can defeat him within 10 moves." Seeing that Qin Hao was full of confidence, Lu Zi also felt that Lin Fei, who was only level 14, could not be Qin Hao's opponent, so he nodded and felt relieved. He then heard Qin Hao continue to say, "Besides, to deal with a mere Lin Fei, there is no need for me to do it myself. After you get the resources and equipment prepared for you, your strength will definitely surpass Lin Fei. By then, you alone will be able to easily deal with him." Lu Zi's eyes lit up and he couldn't contain his excitement. "Thank you, Mr. Qin, for your cultivation. I will definitely look after you in the future." Chin Hao smiled faintly and looked out the window. The motorcade had arrived at the city gate. After leaving Riverside City, the convoy speeded up and rushed towards Donghai City. Time flies by, and the next day is the day when the college entrance examination begins. More than 2,000 new job transferees from more than a dozen high schools in Riverside City gathered in Teleport Plaza, waiting for the college entrance examination to begin. At this time, the teleportation square was bustling with people, and students everywhere were talking enthusiastically. Only the center of the square was surrounded by guards from the City Lord's palace, and no one was allowed to get close. City Lord Chen Han came to the square early and accompanied several formation masters from Donghai City to prepare for the opening of the college entrance examination portal. Lin Fei arrived relatively late. Accompanied by Principal Jin, he found Xu Wei and others who had come earlier. Glancing curiously at the busy array masters in the center of the square, Lin Fei turned to look at the smiling Principal Jin and asked, "Principal, I heard yesterday that the points earned in the college entrance examination can be used to enter after entering Longguo Vocational University. It will be converted into student points. Is this true? I heard about this from Chin Hao yesterday, and it is very credible." However, to be on the safe side, Lin Fei still wanted to confirm it again with the principal. Principal Jin frowned when he heard this, thought for a while, then scratched his head and said, "Probably. Maybe. It seems that is the case." He had just been the vice principal for less than a year. He was too busy with school affairs and had no time to understand these things, so he didn't know much more than Lin Fei. Lin Fei looked helpless after hearing this. No wonder the principal never mentioned it to him. It turned out that he didn't know either. Chen Zihan, who had been silent at this time, suddenly said, "It's true. I heard my father say that the points earned in the college entrance examination can be turned into student points at Longguo Vocational University." Lin Fei nodded after hearing this and politely thanked him. "Thank you for letting me know." Then he looked at the embarrassed Principal Jin and continued to ask, "Principal, besides this, is there any information that has not been taught in class?" Principal Jin thought for a while, shook his head and said, "It's time to tell you. I told you in class." Lin Fei nodded and listened to the principal continue. "There is one thing. I heard that the top scorer in the college entrance examination may receive additional special rewards. But what the special rewards are, I don't know. The students of Linjiang No. 2 Middle School have little hope of getting top marks in the college entrance examination, and this information is so vague, so it is not mentioned in class to prevent them from harboring unrealistic illusions." But since Lin Fei asked, he still told the news. Lin Fei nodded after hearing this, understanding in his heart. No wonder Chin Hao wants to form the strongest team and win the top spot in the college entrance examination. It turns out that there is a special reward. I guess this reward is not small. In this case, I naturally can't miss it and give it a try. Lin Fei's heart was filled with fighting spirit. The top scorer in last year's college entrance examination was only promoted to level 18 before the college entrance examination. My current strength is not inferior to him at all, and I have a chance to compete for the top spot in this year's college entrance examination. Principal Jin saw that Lin Fei was so concerned about the college entrance examination, so he couldn't help but said, "I will emphasize it to you again. The college entrance examination results are ranked based on the points each of you has. The points are composed of monster killing points and level points. Monster killing points, as the name suggests, are points earned by killing monsters. There are a large number of monsters for you to kill in the 33rd layer, and the higher the level of the monsters you kill, the more points you get. Level points, also called group points, are awarded based on the level your group climbs in the 33rd layer. The higher the level your group enters, the more group points it will earn. Levels 1 to 10, everyone can get 100 level points. On levels 11 to 20, everyone can get 300 level points. From level 21 onwards, the level points obtained will also increase with each level. Based on previous year's experience, if you want to enter the top 50, you must have at least 3,000 points. Basically, you have to climb to the 25th floor to accumulate enough points. If you want to enter the top 500, you need to have more than 1,500 points. Basically, you have to climb to the 22nd floor to accumulate enough points. You must determine your target level based on your own strength. Everyone nodded. They already know this and have already determined their target level. Shu Wei asked curiously. Sister Lin Shui ranked 23rd last year. What was her college entrance examination score? Principal Jin replied. Lin Shui entered the 26th level last year, with a final score of 4,327 points. The points for the 26th level are 1,500 points, so everyone in her group has benefited. Their points generally reach over 2,000 points, and they have all entered the top 10 prestigious schools in Dragon Kingdom. After hearing this, Shu Hui's eyes lit up, he chuckled, and couldn't help but steal a few glances at Lin Fei, who was standing aside. If Fei Zhe can enter the 26th level this year, wouldn't he be able to enter the top 10 prestigious schools while lying down? Several other people also thought of this and couldn't help but look at Lin Fei. Lin Fei lowered his eyebrows thoughtfully, then raised his head and asked the principal, Principal, what are the level points for the 33rd level? Regarding level points, he only knew about the 30th level. As for the 30th level and above, the teacher didn't mention it at all, which meant that any more talk would be in vain. Principal Jin laughed when he heard this. 10,000 points. 10,000 points. Shu Wei opened his mouth. He didn't expect that the level points of the 33rd level were so high. You must know that entering Longguo Vocational University only requires 3,000 points. Lin Fei also had a look of surprise on his face, thinking that it would be difficult to enter the 33rd floor. Then I heard Principal Jin add, the level points of the 33rd level are indeed high, but no one has ever obtained them. The top scorer in last year's college entrance examination only reached the 28th level. The highest record in Donghai Province's college entrance examination history is only the 30th level. So just know this and don't have any unrealistic expectations. Several people nodded. The highest record in the history of Donghai Province is only 30 floors. There is definitely no hope for me, so there is no need to think about it. Lin Fei also understood how difficult this was. I estimate in my heart that it will be no problem to challenge the 28th and 29th floors with my own strength. Of course, if you advance to level 15 in the college entrance examination, activate the system, and improve your strength again, maybe reaching level 30 or even higher, it is not without hope. Lin Fei was filled with anticipation and couldn't wait to start the college entrance examination. Look towards the center of the teleportation square. I saw several formation masters over there stopping their movements one after another. It seemed that the preparations before starting the formation were almost done. The leader, Great Master Lu, once again confirmed that there was no problem with the formation, then nodded and asked several of his subordinates to rest aside, while he walked to the side of the city Lord Chen Han. Riverside City's job transfer situation is good this year. I heard that there are many good prospects. Lu Great Master said to the city leader Chen Han familiarly. The two of them were old acquaintances. Chen Han has been the city lord of Riverside City for more than 10 years, and he is responsible for the formations used in the college entrance examination every year. The two have been friends for more than 10 years and have always had a good relationship. Chen Han was tall and mighty, and he was not humble when he heard the words. He nodded and said, the job transfer situation in the past 2 years has been good, and it is getting better year by year. Great Master Lu smiled and nodded. He glanced around the square and said, I heard that there is a guy named Lin Fei who passed the difficult level dungeon in the novice dungeon trial. I wonder who he is. When Chen Han heard this, he pointed in Lin Fei's direction and said, the one with the well-proportioned figure is the one between the two. Great Master Lu followed the direction of Chen Han's finger and saw Lin Fei next to Fatty Shu. Level 14. Not bad, not bad. It seems that this year Riverside City will have another student admitted to Longguo Vocational University. Of course. Chen Han nodded, he was full of confidence in Lin Fei. Great Master Lu looked at the people around Lin Fei again, and his eyes stayed on Chen Zihan. The one next to Lin Fei is Zihan, right? She was a little girl last time I saw her, but she has grown into a big girl in the blink of an eye. Chen Han nodded and said with emotion, yes, she will also take the college entrance examination this year and form a team with Lin Fei. Great Master Lu looked at Chen Han with a squinted smile. It seems that you have put a lot of thought into Zihan. Promoted to level 12 before the college entrance examination, plus teaming up with Lin Fei for the college entrance examination, I might also have the opportunity to be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. I hope so. Chen Han smiled, expecting the same in his heart. He looked down at the time and found that it was already the time for the college entrance examination to start. He then said to Great Master Lu, "The time is up. Let's open the teleportation gate." "Okay." Great Master Lu nodded, raised his hand a little in the air, and a burst of energy was injected into the formation along his fingertips. The formation was activated instantly, emerging layer by layer in the center of the square, eventually forming a huge portal connecting the 33rd layer in Donghai City. Wow! There was a commotion in the teleport square. Everyone looked at the door connecting the future and the future in unison, with anticipation and fear in their eyes. "I announce that the college entrance examination has officially begun." Chen Han's rough voice reached the ears of everyone in the square. All student groups lined up and entered the 33 days through the portal in turn. There was another commotion in the square. The students lined up in front of the portal in groups. Principal Jin also turned to Lin Fei and others and said, "You guys should go in and do your best to get a good result." He didn't say anything like paying attention to safety, because 33rd layer is a man-made secret realm, and the security measures are more complete than the novice copy. The teleportation token in their hands will automatically trigger when they encounter danger, sending them out of the 33rd layer safely. Lin Fei and others nodded to the principal, and then walked towards the center of the square together. Watching them leave, Principal Jin's eyes finally fell on Lin Fei. He was already looking forward to the results of the college entrance examination in 3 days. He didn't know what kind of results Lin Fei would get and how much of a surprise it would be for him. After Lin Fei and the other 5 arrived at the center of the square, they did not wait in line like the others, but followed the long queue and went straight to the portal. The soldiers guarding the surroundings did not stop them. They just watched Lin Fei and the other 5 walk into the portal and disappear from sight. It's good to be strong. You don't have to queue up to pass through the portal, you can be the first to enter. When the long queue of students saw this scene, not only did they not have any objections, but their eyes revealed envy, wishing they could become one of them. It's a pity that they don't have Lin Fei's strength, so they can only line up and enter the portal one by one. After entering the portal with the teleportation token, their vision suddenly darkened, and the power of space distortion drove their bodies to move continuously. It didn't take long before we entered a huge space. Is this the first layer of the 33rd layer sky? Lin Fei looked around. Under the dark sky was the cracked ground, giving people an extremely desolate impression, and he couldn't help but feel a little depressed. But before long, the place became lively. Because groups of 5 people were teleported to them one after another, all of them new job transfers from Riverside City. Lin Fei didn't pay attention to the arrival of these people, but turned to look at Xu Wei and the other 4 and said, "The college entrance examination only lasts for 3 days. We must get as many points as possible within these 3 days." Several people nodded and heard Lin Fei continue. 3 days is a short time. We can't start from the first level and fight all the way up. This way, the time is simply not enough. So, we must give up something. Don't kill monsters in the early stage, climb to a higher level as much as possible, and wait until a certain level is reached before slowing down to hunt monsters. Several people nodded silently after hearing this, which was the proper meaning of the question. Lin Fei continued his analysis. From the 1st to the 10th floor, the monsters are all below level 6. The points gained after killing them are very few, so it is not worth our time. Although there are level 11 and level 12 monsters on the 11th to 20th floors, they are not many in number and have few points. We cannot stay too long. My plan is to pass quickly from the 1st to the 20th floor without hunting monsters, and to conserve physical strength and mana. After entering the 21st floor, we will slow down and hunt monsters to gain points. After listening to this, several people agreed in their hearts. They also all know that based on their own strength, the value below the 20th level is of little value. Only after entering the 21st level can the college entrance examination really begin. Therefore, they had no objections to Lin Fei's plan and nodded in agreement. Lin Fei saw that everyone had no objections, so he released the undead ghosts from the backpack space to clear the way in front, and said to everyone, "Let's set off, speed up, and enter the 21st floor in the shortest time." Xu Wei and the others nodded, followed Lin Fei's pace, and accelerated towards the entrance to the 2nd floor. Most of the surrounding groups, like Lin Fei's group, silently accelerated towards the nearest entrance to the 2nd floor without stopping at the 1st floor. There are only a few groups composed entirely of auxiliary professionals. They know that their strength is too weak and they will not be able to enter a high level in the college entrance examination, so they choose to slow down and kill monsters on the first level while slowly approaching the second level. Layer entrance. Riverside City Teleport Plaza. Principal Jin didn't know when he came to Principal Wang of number 1 middle school. Seeing the long queue of students entering the portal one after another, Principal Jin looked at Principal Wang next to him with a strange look on his face and asked, "Why haven't I seen Lu Zi from your number 1 middle school?" Principal Wang glanced at Principal Jin, smiled and said nothing, looking enigmatic. This made Principal Jin even more strange, and he couldn't help but ask again, "Old Wang, isn't Lu Zi here?" "We've already gone in," Principal Wang said calmly. "Already gone in?" Principal Jin was even more confused. "I have been watching the portal since it opened, and I don't remember that Lu Zi was among the people who entered." Of course, Principal Wang would not tell him that Lu Zi entered the 33rd layer directly from the entrance of Donghai City. After looking at Principal Jin again, he said calmly, "Don't be too happy too early. Be careful that extreme joy can lead to sorrow. It's not certain who will win." After saying that, he ignored Principal Jin, who looked strange, and walked aside. Principal Jin looked at his back, his head even more confused. Did this guy take the wrong medicine? Why don't you be happy too early? How extreme happiness brings sorrow, and who will win the victory? Where does this all go? Principal Jin was confused by these incomprehensible words. He thought about it for a long time without thinking about it. He simply stopped thinking about it and turned around to ask the dean to go to the rest area to wait. There is nothing left for them to do next. All they need to do is wait patiently for the results of the college entrance examination. Over the course of 3 days, all students will complete the college entrance examination and then be sent back again.